60% talent, 40% Swedish hair cream.
Vladdy rips one deep left field. It's gone. Welcome back. It's 1-0 Blue Jays in the first inning.
It's all gas, no brakes.
3rd and 5 for the Edmonton Elks. If they can have a little straight fire here, get into the end zone, and tie things up. Get the first half. Fajardo over the middle, wide open. Taking a seat and taking the score. That's Joshua Cephas.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we're here to stay.
The Tom Gazzola Show on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440.
Good morning. Let's go. Tuesday edition of the Tom Gazzola Show. We're ready to rock. Hope you're doing well out there as we get set for an action-packed 4 hours, of course. Tom Gazzola, Brandon Douglas, and the one and only Josh Fenwick. The crowd goes wild. Fenny's back after quite an adventure out in the Okanagan, and we'll get to that story and much, much more, obviously. Text us. Join the conversation. We want to hear from you. 1-833-401-1440. Of course, the Tom Gazzola Show brought to you by Bet365. Check out Bet365's early payout for baseball. When your team goes up by 5 runs, you get paid out immediately. No stress about blowing a big lead. Download the app. See what early payout's all about. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the thumbs up button. Like, share, subscribe. We continue to build that up at its own pace, if you will. If you're listening on the dial, thank you. If you're listening on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, appreciate that very much. Watching maybe on X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch, all those platforms. We always thank you for that. All right, we have a loaded show for you. Zach Pearson from the Bear Report from 24/7 Sports. He's going to give us the scoop on the Bears. KK, Kevin Carius is going to be filling in for Spec with On the Mark. That's going to be nice to see what's going on with KK. I know a lot of people have been wondering how KK is doing, and here's your opportunity. He'll be in the rest of the week as Spec is away. We'll get to Lucas Weiss covering the National Bank Open. He's our headliner of the day. We've got one semi ready to go on the women's side, and then some quarters that need to be taken care of tonight. And then Colin Livingston from Cantork will be stopping by. A little bit of racing chatter. I know F1's in summer break, but they're gearing up for the final month of NASCAR. And you can also, I'll dip into what Colin's doing with Alex Tagliani. He's on his crew. And then Ryan Payton from NHL Network Radio will be stopping by. Payton's always fantastic. And then Connor Halley from The Frenzy as we go through what will be another busy day here on this show. Not so much in the sports world, boys. Like we're kind of in that quiet zone, right? Football, NFL camps are underway, so we'll talk Bears. But CFL, we're a couple days away from the next game. Obviously got the Argos coming to town to take on the Elks. And then we're just kind of waiting for hockey.
Waiting.
A month away.
Patiently? Not so patiently?
I'm patient.
Maybe that's up to each individual. But yeah, it's this a continued stretch where, and now, does it get even a little bit worse after the MLB trade deadline? Because we know the dog days of summer, it's more than just a handful of days or even a week. Like it kind of stretches through a good chunk of August. And especially after the deadline where there's a lot of anticipation and excitement around where some big names might land. What's your favorite team going to do?
Yeah.
That passes. And especially if your team was, say, a seller or a neutral party or something, then there's really nothing to be excited about because you're probably not a playoff team.
Right.
And now you might be, jumping around and watching some games that are a little more interesting than the ones your club's putting forth. But yeah, it's pretty slow out there, Tommy. It's pretty slow.
We're in the dog days.
It's true.
We're in the dog days, and that's okay. We get time to wax poetic about other things. And then over the weekend, like this is the first couple of days of each week for, I don't know, probably next couple of weeks. It'll be a slow build up. And then the weekends, like Thursday shows, Friday shows, those are always going to be a little bit more amped up just because that's when most of the action will be when it comes to the sporting world. And that's fine until we get some hockey, and then we'll go crazy and everybody will get angry and be complaining about the Oilers, and we'll be listening intently to what people are complaining about. And then we'll have our own complaints to bitch about, and then it'll be this wonderful vicious circle that we put ourselves through because that's what we do in the sporting world. It's a lot of fun. I wouldn't have it any other way, you guys. Wouldn't have it any other way. All right, Fenny. How are you? Welcome back.
I'm good, Tom. I'm tired.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. I'm feeling much like Duke, but no, that's it. I can't even say rested. I am extremely tired. The vacation was not too relaxing for the second half of it.
Yes, and there is a story there, completely valid. You weren't just deleting beers, as perhaps the Duke and I were over the weekend.
No, not in the second half. First half, absolutely.
Okay.
Got a nice sunburn from floating a channel, whatever. Felt very refreshed. Was like, oh, this is going great. And then in the Okanagan, for anyone that doesn't know, the Bald Range caught on fire. It's an uncontrolled forest fire. A whole town has been wiped off the map already. So it's no good at all.
No.
Again, I was just a traveler, so I didn't have any skin in the game, but I feel really bad for everyone involved, everyone that was evacuated to either Kelowna or Penticton. And then on Saturday at 2 a.m., we were evacuated because I was staying in Summerland. And so that was a day. I slept for about 2 hours. And then by 4, I was in Kelowna. I'd had a flight that was going to be going out at 6:30. That got canceled because of extreme weather, because there's also an uncontrolled forest fire in Vernon. So it's really not good out in the Okanagan right now. And then I got, they rebooked us on a 5:55 a.m. flight. That got canceled. So luckily we have friends over in Kelowna. They put me and my girlfriend up for the night. And then my parents, bless their hearts, dropped everything on my dad's birthday to come and get us.
Jeez.
And we drove all the way back to Calgary. And then yesterday, finally made our way back to the city. Thought, okay, now we can just rest, recuperate, whatever. Nope, girlfriend blew a tire in Whitecourt. So I got back home at like 11:30 last night with her in tow after we left her car outside of a Fountain Tire. So, I think over the last 80 hours or whatever, I've probably gotten 10 hours of sleep.
It's not enough, Fenny.
It's not grand. And then on top of it, it was very hot everywhere. But again, just like I feel really bad for all those residents out in the Okanagan. Also, shout out to the guy on Twitter that was sort of looking after me.
Yeah?
The Okanagan guy. I think that's even his Twitter handle, but listens to the station and was like, listen, if you don't have anywhere to go, I'm more than happy to put you up. And then checked on me yesterday, said, are you still stuck? Nope. Made it back home finally. But it's just a crummy situation. And it looked like the apocalypse outside when we came outside at Saturday morning. So it was not ideal.
Very scary. Glad you're back. I think it's only up from here.
That's the hope.
Yeah.
That's the hope.
Yep. Okay. We'll be okay.
Good things happen to good people, right?
That's what they say. Harry says that's a week.
Yeah.
That's a week.
That it was.
Then adds no Rider fans 15,000 prediction for attendance. Hopefully there's more at Commonwealth on Saturday. There's a couple of funny texts here. Radio free agent listener says it is the part-time Tommy show. That's funny because I'm away next week. Yes. It's the dog days. We need holidays too, don't we? I'll be in Calgary.
Lovely city.
It's just fine.
It's a little smoky right now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Do they want some rain? Because we've had plenty.
I think they got rain as well. It's just all coming over. But hey, still a lovely city.
You would say that.
I would.
I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good. I'll see one of my brothers, and I'll have my other brother with me, and we'll be helping out at a hockey school. So that should be good. But yeah, we're kind of in the middle of it right now. The dog days of the summer. It'd be nice if the weather was a little bit better, but I'm not complaining. Not complaining. Positive thoughts. And then Kyle also chiming in already. This is what he says. It's been a long off season considering the last 2 years. So having said that, is the itch for hockey back on August 11th? Because a month today, rookies report. And then on the 16th, it will be the vets. And then only a few days into camp, we'll have our first preseason game, down to 4 preseason games, which I think is appreciated by everybody. And then the 29th is game 1 of the regular season for the Edmonton Oilers. So is that itch back? Are you guys feeling it? I'm not, but I'm very, very okay with just waiting it out. The time will come. I mean, Brando was saying the other day, the summer's been fleeting. I don't want to believe it, but it kind of has.
Yeah, well, and part of it is because of the weather, where the first half we're just constantly looking out the window, watching the rain run down the window panes and dreaming of getting out and playing golf or doing this or that,
Yeah.
whatever, whatever outdoors activities can sometimes be impacted by the moisture and the weather. So I don't really have the itch either yet, Tom, because my itch is currently, working on being scratched by the return of NFL football, which we know precedes the return of the hockey season.
Correct.
But as per usual, once they get back, all the players back in town here, and there you got some skates going, and then all of a sudden it's training camp, and you said like the shortened preseason, all that jazz. Listen, I'll be ready for it, and I'll be excited about it, no doubt. But I'm not quite there yet because we've still got to check another thing off the list before we get to
That's
it.
a good point. That's a really good point. Yeah, the NFL, we got preseason games. I know we had the Hall of Fame game last week, but it's not the same when you have a full slate of games. And those first few games, you're excited to see. Some of them are on TV, and you're like, oh, yeah, NFL's back. And you got big CFL games coming up, obviously. We're leading into Labor Day right away here in the next few weeks. But you watch, and after like the first half, you're like, oh, okay, who are these guys playing now? And you're like, it's preseason football. Benny, where's your itch level at for hockey? Not quite there? Are you with us, or are you feeling it?
No, I'm not there yet because I know we got the NFL coming first. So that's a little like, oh yeah, that's sort of what I'm jonesing for at this point. And then I think after that first weekend, it's gonna go from, where it's at now, like a 4-ish to it'll go right up to a 10. I also have I got the season game pack or whatever for the Flames last season in the Dome. Got all the Canadian games.
Oh.
So just purchased those yesterday. Pretty amped up for that.
The Saddle Dome. Are you going to be sad?
Sure. I mean, I haven't been there enough. So I guess I'll...
Once?
Twice.
Oh, you've only been to 2 games there?
Yeah, once when I was 5 and then once like in April.
Oh.
And then like I've been to the Dome for some other things like lacrosse.
Yep.
But it's just like, we weren't driving down to Calgary to go and see a Flames game. We all had lives as children growing up.
Indeed.
Unfortunately. So I'll get out there plenty this year.
Brandon, anything? Saddle Dome memories?
Oh, I've been to, quite a few. I would, because as a fan of an out-of-market team, right? Anytime Anaheim would come to Alberta, and growing up outside of Red Deer is essentially halfway between Edmonton and Calgary, I went to plenty of games at the Saddle Dome, at Rexall Place, and then Rogers Open when I was going to university up here. So started off and lived here for most of the time since then. So plenty of games in both cities and lots of trips to the Stampede and, going there to check out different events and whatnot.
Right.
I'm trying to think a few concerts at the Saddle Dome as well. But most recently, 2 springs ago, I went and watched my brother-in-law is a Flames fan, so we went and watched Ducks and Flames when both teams were among the very worst in the NHL.
Nice.
Right after the trade deadline. After that, both just sold off everything, and we had a few pops. Went to the casino afterward. This was like on a Tuesday night. Like took the Wednesday off work just randomly in the middle of March or April, I should say. And
that's fine.
Hey, sometimes, like I said, he got me the tickets for Christmas, so we went, had a good time, and got some milkshakes at Peter's afterwards, and that was good enough of a road trip for me.
I'd call that a day. That sounds like yeah.
And then I took a lot of criticism actually for the milkshake flavors that I'd gotten because I just tried some new ones. Like I go there once every 5 years because I'm a believer and I only go to the original. There's one in Edmonton now. I believe there's one in Red Deer too.
Yes, there are.
But I don't frequent those. But when I'm in Calgary, I'll go out of my way to pop by the OG location.
I have not been to the Peters. Like, I don't mind it. I don't understand. I don't know, just in general, Peters Drive. I don't understand the hype though. Like, I'd have it and I'd be like, yeah, it's fine. It was a good burger and fries.
I'm not sure it's really that different from any other burger place of like that serves that type of burger, like you said, with the milkshakes and all that. But I don't know, maybe it's a little bit nostalgic because when I was a kid, it was like a treat when we'd go to Calgary for whatever reason. Be like, oh, we got to pop by here and get a milkshake or something.
We would do the same.
Yeah.
We would do the same. But yeah, I know it's here. It's on Calgary Trail. And I look at it, I'm like, I hope it's doing well. because it's a staple down in Calgary. I know Red Deer has it too, like you mentioned, but it never really resonated with me, just like the Saddle Dome.
You don't like the tiptoe across the catwalk?
I am scared, you know what, of the tiptoe across the catwalk. I'm very much afraid of heights, and I would do it once a year just to get it out of my system. It would freak me out. And now the most distinct memory I will have of the Saddle Dome is when the flood happened. And they managed to get that building up and running again in a quick turnaround, but it had a really funky smell to it. And people were showing me photos of like how high the water level was. It was, I think, 8 to 10 feet, and it flooded out everything. They had to get the scoreboard control room redone. They had to do the locker rooms, and it just had this weird stank to it.
Yeah.
On top of the original stank that it had to it. And I have to give all the praise in the world to the crews that got that building ready to go for the hockey season. But I remember I was like, well, at least it got a bit of a refresh, but it looks exactly the same. It just has a funky smell. So, but it's been a good building. It's served its purpose. Has some good moments. Couple of cup finals. One championship team in 89. That's about it. Lots of rodeo stuff. Some concerts. And now they're going to move into a new building, and I think it'll be a benefit to our province. And concerts and tours will come through both cities instead of maybe stopping in Edmonton, because we have the facility that can house most of these concerts. Now both cities can, and it makes it more appealing. So, let's enjoy the last year at the Dome, and Fenny will be going down there to watch a bunch of games. The Oilers will be somehow not closing out the Saddle Dome, which I thought is ridiculous. They opened it up. Why not have it bookended nicely? But no, it's the Vancouver Canucks who get the glory, I guess. By the way, preseason starts on the 19th. So we're right into it, boys. Winnipeg's in town. Then the Oilers go to Winnipeg on the 22nd. They're in Vancouver on the 24th. Back home against the Flames at Rogers Place against Calgary, right? And then the regular season starts on the 29th. So the itch will be scratched if you have it for hockey. But I think a lot of people are just kind of in that lull zone right now, waiting for NFL football to come back. A couple of texts before we go to break and then start talking Bears football. This one for Jade Victoria says, good morning, guys. Glad you made it back safe. My drive out there for the game may be a bit slow, but I haven't been part of fighting fires in the military multiple times, and it's absolutely heartbreaking for them all. So a few extra hours, not important at all. Jay and Victoria with that one. Brian says, itch for hockey. No, it's football season. We hear enough about hockey. Brian, that's a fair point. Fair point. And then what do we have? Kyle says, donut mill is more of a required stop. I've had it. It's very good. You guys do donut mill?
And that's sort of the opposite. We're not living in Calgary, the things that are there, or vice versa. In Edmonton, you come up here, you go to United Cycle for
Right.
get all your gear for the winter or whatever. It was exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Being outside of Red Deer, Donut Mill was just a regular spot. We went there regularly, but it's not like every time I drive back home, I have to swing down to Gasoline Alley and go to Donut Mill. It was more like if we were hosting a tour at the farm or we were going somewhere or something, you go in there and maybe grab a box to take with you as a little treat for everyone or something. That was the gist of it for me. I know Connor Halley is going to be in later in the show. Huge Donut Mill guy.
Yeah, I respect that. It's a treat. It's a treat. Pillman says he's only been to the Saddle Dome for a New Year's Eve game. Good time. He used the term that I don't want to use on the air for the Saddle Dome. And then CB Radio guy makes a good point. I'm going to laugh at this one. Says, good thing the new building is built below the floodplains. Genius. I understand there's a bladder to the new building that's supposed to mitigate potential flooding. I hope the engineers got it right. And we don't have to talk about them having to redo the entire lower portion of a building in a 2-month segment after a massive flood. That would be painful to see that all over again. All right, we got to step out when we come back. Zach Pearson from the Bear Report will be joining us. We'll talk about the Bears as we get set for NFL action. The preseason really kicks off this week. You're listening to the Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365 right here on Sports 1440.
Kickoff is coming August 15th. Elks, Argos at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. It's Family Day presented by Goodwill Industries of Alberta. Youth 17 and under get in free for an early afternoon contest. Conditions apply. Tickets and info at goelks.com/tickets.
Everything is going to be okay. If your debt has you feeling like you're in a free fall, you have options. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. Becoming debt-free is possible, and a personal bankruptcy or consumer proposal will get you there. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. You'll learn how a consumer proposal allows you to eliminate your debt by paying a percentage of the amount owed without interest. At Faber, we'll tackle your debt.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Edmonton sports fans, stay informed with Sports 1440. Stream us. Listen to us on the AM dial. However you consume this radio station, thanks for listening.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Step into a night of pure pop magic with Arrival, Canada's ultimate tribute to ABBA, live October 9th at Pure Casino Yellowhead's Pearl Showroom. Experience a high-energy celebration of ABBA's biggest hits, brought to life by a world-class six-piece band featuring dazzling costumes, tight harmonies, and unforgettable stage energy. Tickets from just $44.99. Get yours now at Ticketmaster. Don't miss Arrival, Canada's ultimate tribute to ABBA, October 9th at Pure Casino. Pure entertainment, pure action, and pure imagination.
The Tom Gazzola Show on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
$7:23. Good morning. You're listening to the Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365, right here on Sports 1440. Join the conversation. Text us 1-833-401-1440. We're going to talk a little football. We're going to go south of the border, talk NFL. If you do want to go to the Elks Argos game this weekend, we're giving away tickets all week long. Just text in Elks to 1-833-401-1440. It is the Family Day game on Saturday. Yours truly will be patrolling the sidelines. Try not to get run over and die like I almost did about a month ago. So looking forward to that. Should be a good bounce back game for the Double E after their last couple of games, losing in Montreal, of course, losing in Saskatchewan as well. All right, let's shift focus to the NFL. Preseason really getting going this week. Trading camps well underway. Lots of stuff happening. And to discuss the Chicago Bears, we're going to bring in Zach Pearson from the Bear Report. And he's all over everything at trading camp. And I know a lot of people are very excited about this week when it comes to football. Zach, good morning. Welcome to the show. Thank you for hopping on today. Appreciate it very, very much. Let's just start with what's going on at Bears camp. I know going through your timeline, reading your stuff, injuries are starting to become a factor. Is that a fair thing to say right now?
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly been the storyline, at least the past, 8 or 9 days. It's just been the injuries. Yeah, they got off to a good start in training camp. And then last Monday was actually the big one with Kobe Bryant. And then you saw Cam Lewis, his backup, get hurt. And now more recently, it's essentially been Braxton Jones, Montez Sweat, and Luther Burden. So the good news is, outside of Bryant, I don't think any of these injuries are serious enough to keep any players out long term. I think it's just going to be more of, let's get them, let's not rush them back, and let's make sure they're 100% healthy, coming in for week 1 of the regular season.
Yeah, and that opens up the door for some guys to get an extra look, doesn't it? And are there guys that are making impressions in camp that are taking advantage of the opportunity?
Yeah, it does open up the door, and you look, and we'll start with the left tackle battle because I think that's the most important battle on the offense. For me, it was Braxton Jones's to lose unless something happened, and something happened. He got hurt in practice last week, and now it opens the door for someone like Kieran Amagaji, a former 3rd-round pick out of Yale, or a former 1st-round pick out of Alabama who they signed in the offseason, Jedrick Wills Jr. So those two are still battling for left tackle. Other than that, Cam Lewis should be back this week, and he probably will be starting alongside Dylan Thieneman at safety. And then, in the nickel, Kyler Gordon's been out, so it's opened up a door for someone like Malik Muhammad, a rookie, or Jalen Jones to kind of take that spot. So, yeah, it is creating a little more competition and giving some of these guys some key reps here.
In your opinion, Zach, who are guys that are looking like really strong so far in camp? I know, what are we through 8 or 9 days now, maybe even 10? Man, it feels like camp is flying by. Who are some guys making great performances and standing out here?
Yeah, so today will be practice 11. And so far for me, it's been Colson Lovell, the tight end, who has probably looked like the best player in camp so far overall. Looks like he's ready to take a huge step here in year 2 after an already impressive rookie season. And then, a couple other guys, Luther Burden, before he got hurt,
right?
Kind of same thing. Looked like he was going to take a big step forward in year 2. He should be fine for, week 1 or week 2 with his injury. But yeah, Jordan Vandenberg, a rookie defensive tackle, 6th-round pick. The last couple of days has gotten some first-team reps, which tells you he was with the 3rd team earlier in camp, so he's kind of moving up. That kind of tells you what coaches think of him. And, Caleb Williams in the offense overall, I think is primed to take a big jump forward.
Yeah, I'm glad you kind of led into that, Zach, because I know Caleb Williams, a lot of hype around him, obviously, rightly so. Some games last year, fantastic to watch as a non-Bears fan. I thoroughly enjoyed watching him go to toe-to-toe with some guys and some teams. Now, what's the next step in his evolution as he, moves into that veteran status in the NFL? What are we looking at with him?
Yeah, we saw he can make the spectacular plays. I mean, he can make throws that legit wow you and show you, top 5 arm talent.
Yeah.
The next step is simple. Take the easy throws and complete them. And quarterbacks coach JT Barrett told us in the offseason that they want to focus on the easy money throws. And, they set the 70% completion percentage last year. They'll set it again this year for him to achieve. It's very tough to achieve in the NFL. But if he wants to get close to it, he's got to hit those easy throws. We saw him miss a couple crossers, over the middle last year. We saw him miss a couple easy slants. So if he can take those and, and be better in that area, I think it opens up a lot more. And I think he will be better. All signs in camp so far show that he's going to be better. Last year was kind of just, Ben Johnson said that, they graduated now to a new grade here this year. This last year was a lot harder coaching and kind of getting a lot of new information in for Caleb Williams. I think this year is a little bit, I don't want to say easier, but he's a little more comfortable with where he was at last year at this time.
Zach, how would you describe the way he has changed in his time as a pro? Because I know, obviously, like I said, a lot of hype coming in with him coming to the Bears. And he was, he had some things about him that he was a bit eccentric, if you will, and all that. But I think I was reading a couple of weeks ago, he really wants to take up more of a leadership role. Is that something you're noticing? Is that something that's being discussed a lot when it comes to Williams?
Yeah, the leadership role is important, and we're seeing that. Honestly, to be fair to Caleb, we saw that when he was a rookie. He was just in a very, very bad situation.
Yes.
With Matt Eberflus here. So, yeah, I mean, we're seeing a lot more of that. We're seeing him get on guys when they're not lined up properly, or when they're struggling to get in and out of the huddle. We're seeing him get on guys, false starts or drop passes. but it's not, screaming or yelling or anything like that. I wouldn't say it's like to the level of like a Tom Brady or anything like that, but he's making sure that the guys are in the right spots after the play, talking to them. So yeah, and a lot of guys gravitate towards them. It's all the pre-draft stuff. We haven't seen any of that here in Chicago. Like, there's been no concerns on any of that stuff. So that's kind of a good step forward for him here in year 3.
Yeah, guys take time. That stuff, you can't just start being a leader and just because you're the quarterback. That's something that there is an evolution to it. Zach Pearson with us from the Bear Report as we get set for preseason action this week in the NFL. The Bears get Cleveland on Saturday morning. In the NFC North, Zach, like how do these Bears stack up? I know they were tops in the division last year, but there's some decent teams in this division. How do you look at the NFC North this season?
Yeah, this is going to be a tough division. Arguably the best division of football with, the NFC West. For the Bears, they know like they can't just roll into this season and say, oh yeah, we're going to win the division just because we did it last year. They're not at that stage yet. And it's a very, very good division. Detroit kind of took a step back last year, but they were hit with some big injuries. I'm very curious about them. Green Bay made the playoffs last year. They have some questions on the offensive line. And, when does Micah Parsons come back? And then Minnesota, to me, is probably, the biggest wild card team in this whole situation, because if they figure out the quarterback position, I think they have a really good roster, and they just haven't been able to figure it out, since Sam Darnold left a couple of years ago. So it wouldn't surprise me if any of the 4 teams won the division. Maybe a little surprised Minnesota won it, but I think 3 of the 4 should be right there contending for a playoff spot at the end of the season. And it wouldn't shock me if 3 of them made the playoffs this year.
If the Bears have struggles this season, what areas of concern would lead to those struggles, in your opinion?
Yeah, you start with defensive line. Outside of Montez Sweat, they just did not have a good year last year, and they really need that this year. I would say, defensive line, potentially linebacker, although I do think they got better there. And then maybe the injuries in the secondary. With Kelly Gordon not being out there, that nickel spot is a huge hole right now for Dennis Allen. And with Kobe Bryant not being out there, you're going to start a rookie safety in week 1, and then you're kind of, banking on a veteran in Cam Lewis or Xavier Woods to kind of help them out. But they're kind of running out of time to kind of build that chemistry back there. So, I think if everything goes wrong this year, I think it'd be, on the defensive side of the football.
All right. Fair enough. I have to ask you about some off-field stuff and like hearing about the Bears moving to Indiana and having their facility out there. Like, where is this at? I mean, I know Soldier Field is historic, and they rebuilt it and became the spaceship at Soldier Field, like 20 years ago? Like, what's the situation? I'm sure people in Chicago are sour about this. Just give us an update on that, because it seems crazy, but we're starting to see sports franchises kind of buying up big plots of land and creating their entire mini cities and making money off of it.
They are basically at where they've been at for the past 3 years in this whole thing. They have virtually made no progress. And the only progress they've made is, I think February or March or earlier in the spring, they announced they voted on moving forward with a Hammond site. And people caught that headline, but didn't read or didn't pay attention to what happened before that, because they've said basically outside of the voting, they've basically said they're going to move forward with Arlington Heights more than once in the past couple of years. So they are big fans of, releasing statements that virtually have no meaning. And I think a lot of us, the reporters, I think a lot of the fans, I think, people that live in Illinois and Indiana are kind of in a wait and see holding pattern here, where we don't believe where they're going to go until there's actual shovels in the ground. They've kind of announced this project, years ago. I think it was 2021. And they virtually made no progress in terms of, picking a site. The only progress they've made is essentially tearing down the old racetrack at Arlington Heights and buying the Arlington Heights land. So the latest is, I believe yesterday George McCaskey said they're now looking at a second location in Hammond, Indiana, and doing their due diligence there, which tells me that they're still trying to draw this out in hopes that Illinois kind of gets their stuff together and will maybe call a special session, or Illinois will meet before Indiana actually meets. I believe Indiana meets in February, so still a long way to go. And I think Illinois meets later this fall. So my gut is still telling me it's Arlington Heights. I think it makes the most sense. I think Indiana was served to them on a silver platter. And if they really wanted that, they would have completely done that by now. So, yeah, it's just been frustrating all around for everyone.
Well, yeah, I mean, Soldier Field's right downtown. I love Chicago. I traveled there covering the Edmonton Oilers so much, and I could see people in and around Chicago being pissed off that the teams, like, logistically, how far away would people have to travel to get out to either one of those two sites that you mentioned?
Yeah, and Soldier, I like Soldier Field. Do I think it needs to be upgraded? Yes. Would I love for them to be in the city? Yes. That's a whole nother issue too. It's just, for me, it's kind of the Illinois Indiana thing is kind of classic politics, both using each other for leverage.
Of course.
It's a tough situation because you see, Buffalo and the complaints about Buffalo Stadium. We'll see, but you see Buffalo get up their stadium fairly quick, and in Tennessee, announcing their plans and getting that started, and now Cleveland. So, yeah, and honestly, by the time we get to a point where this thing's built, we're still looking probably another 7-8 years until it's all done. So yeah, we'll see. But it would shock me if they stayed in the city of Chicago. It just right now it's with everything going on. There's also a mayoral election in Chicago coming up, I believe, next year. So that'll be a big factor in everything. It's awful timing for everything. And Bears, honestly, they haven't helped themselves in this situation either.
Funny how it happens when a franchise try to figure something out and they're trying to do real estate. Can't always be smooth. Hey, Zach, thanks for the update this morning. Great stuff. And maybe we're catching up later in the season.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me on.
Awesome. Zach Pearson, Bear Report, covering the Chicago Bears. They take on Cleveland on Saturday. Yeah, I'm fascinated by the stadium stuff. We've got a couple of texts in regard to it. Dallas says, look on the map. It's basically like going to Sherwood Park from West Edmonton Mall. So you're saying you can get there in about 20 minutes on a good day. I know, and there were times where if we were in Chicago for a weekend and there was nothing going on Sunday, or even I think we were there on a Monday night and a bunch of the Oilers training staff knew the equipment guys from the Packers, and they drove to Green Bay, and I think it was only an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. So it's obvious proximity isn't as big of an issue. It's not like Edmonton and Calgary where you're 3 hours or 2 hours and 45 minutes apart, but it just seems silly because I know the city of Chicago even stepped up to try to provide, I don't know if it was like $1 billion or some kind of concession.
Whatever the money is, that's what all the hemming and hawing is about. Is because the Bears ownership, the McCaskies, as Zach kind of outlined, is like they want the state and the city to pay for their stadium, essentially, right? And the reason they don't want to keep playing at Soldier Field, even though it did get those big renovations you mentioned, 20 years ago now, is because they don't own it. The McCaskies don't own it. And as we're seeing, all these teams' owners, they want to own their own building as well, but they don't want to pay for it, or at least not all of it, or as little of it as humanly possible. So to Dallas's text, and it's a little bit further away than that. Like maybe if you're talking like the worst rush hour traffic from the West End here, trying to get over to Sherwood Park, because I believe, and this is the genuine, like I've listened and read a lot of content out of Chicago around this for the past couple of years. It would be pretty, depending on where you're at in Chicago, the same amount of time to drive to Arlington, which is obviously still the more local site, or to Indiana in the Hammond kind of ish area. And it's about 40 minutes ish, kind of from call it a centralized in Chicago location. So Dallas is right. The actual time is not the big deal, but I think it's more so the matter of moving out of state when and calling yourself the Chicago Bears, where you're still Chicago adjacent, but you're not even inside Illinois anymore, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of with Zach, where I really do see the Bears just continuing to lean on this and try and get this little bit of leverage in each direction, and eventually they landed Arlington because they bought this huge plot of land so many years ago, and they tore down the racetrack for it and all this stuff. It was all pointing towards it, but they just haven't got the financial concession from the other side of the negotiating table that they want yet. I have to wonder if they will eventually get to where they want it to be, or maybe they make a few concessions themselves, which, as we know, world of compromise is usually how things end up coming to a close.
Yeah. Someone's going to cave, obviously, and that's generally what happens in these situations. But it is incredible to see billionaires get these sweetheart deals by putting in minimal amounts of money of their own. We've seen that here, although it has helped and it has worked out decently. Not perfect, obviously, as someone who lives just outside of Ice District. And then Dallas follows up with, yes, correct. Traffic plays a huge part. Chicago is different than Edmonton, but it's not like they're moving the team from Edmonton to Saskatoon or that type of thing. Good point. That reminds me, too, of a story when we were in Arizona with the Oilers. And we used to stay right next to jobbing.com arena, Gila River Arena, whatever name it had at the time, because there's a nice Renaissance hotel there. And then the football stadium's also on the same lot of land. And the coach at the time said, no, we're not staying in Glendale. We're going out to Scottsdale. And we had to plan accordingly traffic-wise. And Phoenix is a city of around 6 million people, so it's huge. We left an extra hour early to get to the arena, both buses, team and media. Hit rush hour traffic. Took like 2.5 hours to get there. In the HOV lane, and the team arrived 15 minutes before warm-up. The training staff were like, where the hell were you guys? Traffic can be a nightmare, as we know. A little bit different in cities like Chicago and Phoenix and markets that have probably like 4 times our population. But yeah, 3-4 times our population. So anyway, interesting development. Keeping tabs on it. And then speaking of the Bills, I know Zach brought it up with their stadium. Season seat holders, if you didn't catch it, had a chance to go and check out their seats. And there were obstructed view seats. There were some weird quirks at the new Highmark Stadium that has drawn the attention and ire of some. But overall, I think it got pretty positive reviews. But it was kind of funny. There were some pictures that were released of angles and seats that didn't really have a good view of the entire playing surface. So yeah, they can fix stuff like that. I think Boston renovated TD Garden a few years ago, and they put in new seats, bigger seats, and they created some weird spots in the building that they had to correct. But you can always fix that stuff.
Remember when the Islanders were playing at Barclays Center?
Oh yeah, I covered games there.
What a state-of-the-art facility for hockey.
It was terrible for hockey. It was a nice facility, great building, but not for hockey. Not at all for hockey. Outside of that, very nice. For the Nets, wonderful. For the Islanders, no bueno, as they say. All right, we're going to take a quick breather. When we come back, more of your texts. Keep those coming in. 1-833-401-1440. It's a Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365.
It's time to hit the greens. Elevate your golf game with Country Club Tour Golf Academy. No matter your experience, our PGA of Canada teaching pros are here to help. Enjoy lessons year-round between our 7 CCT golf courses and 2 state-of-the-art indoor facilities. Choose the location convenient for you. We offer private lessons, group lessons, expert club fittings, and junior cams. Visit our website to learn more and get ready to take your game to the next level. Booking is easy. Go to countryclubtour.com/golf academy and schedule your lesson today.
Yeah, it's me again. And if you're sidelined with a sports injury, you already know nothing's more frustrating than being told to just rest. At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we get athletes moving sooner with our zero-gravity treadmills. You can run, train, and rebuild strength with up to 80% less body weight, so your injury heals while your confidence comes roaring back. When your sports injury's yelling, whisper back, leadingedgephysio.com, because life shouldn't hurt.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey, Culligan. I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at culligan.ca.
I finished a 5K in 94th place, right after a man wearing jeans. Then a volunteer gave me a medal. But I don't want participation trophies, unless they're from Bet365. With their daily prize matcher game, I win by matching gold coins, cherries, and more. Take that, Denim Man. Thanks, Bet365.
Must be 18 or older. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Standard message and data rates may apply. T's and C's apply.
Harley-Davidson of Edmonton is turning up the heat for their annual garage sale and swap meet. Catch the Twin West Crew Stunt Team live for 2 massive shows packed with smoke and fire. Plus, score huge deals on parts, gear, and clothing. Check out artisan vendors, local riding groups, and grab a bite at the food trucks. August 15th, 10 to 3 at Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail. Locally owned and operated since 1980. Find more at hdedmonton.com.
Early mornings just got louder. For the hottest takes and the sports stories that actually matter to Edmonton, you need Tom Gazzola. Weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440 at 833-401-1440.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Alberta, this one's for you. Around here, trust takes a few winters. It's why players have known Jackpot City since 1998. Home to hundreds of exciting casino games, live dealer action, and new adventures waiting to be discovered. Jackpot City, nothing beats the original. Please play responsibly, 18 years or older, Alberta only.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca.
The Tom Gazzola Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we're here to stay.
Brandon has a theory about Bryan Adams. Can you reminisce what you just said?
Well, as soon as the song started, you naturally got in a good mood.
I did.
And you're just like, oh, what a way to start the day, a little BA.
I did say that.
And
you
the expression goes, just as an apple a day keeps the doctor away, some BA every day keeps the demons at bay.
Yep.
Just puts you in a good mood.
Yep. That's in writing somewhere.
It's almost like Hakuna Matata, right? Like, it means no worries.
Day. Yeah.
For the rest of your days.
That's the one. That's the one. Hakuna Matata. Great film. Did you see the live action version?
I did, actually.
Was it any good?
It was quite literally a shot-for-shot remake of the cartoon, just with CGI instead of animation.
Just license to print money.
The part I appreciated about it was were the songs.
Yeah.
Because they obviously had a great cast with Donald Glover and Beyonce and all that stuff. So some of the voice acting I appreciated, but I didn't really understand the need to make that movie when it was shot for shot the exact same.
The original is fantastic.
It's one of the best movies ever made, with one of certainly the best soundtracks. And so they just used all the same soundtrack, just had different people sing them.
which is fine.
Which I can like. I love a good cover. Love a good cover
Yeah.
song. So yeah, I don't know. I have not seen the Mufasa movie.
No, I don't know if I have the heart to dip into something like that.
It's actually very good timing you bring this up at this point, Tom, because
Okay.
we're gonna have local retired man, unemployed man, Kevin Carius here on at the top of the hour here to fill in for Spec. That was one of his favorite like classic jokes when talking about the Lion King.
Yeah.
And the new one in particular. He's like, so can you believe they train the animals to do that? Like just one of his favorite go-to bits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, KK will be joining us in about 9 minutes. We do need to get into one thing here because I brought it up before we started the show with you, and Tim texting in about it says, "Morning, boys. I'm sure you've discussed it already. We have not. We did off the air. But have you ever seen anything as confusing as the play from the Jays game last night? Absurd. If you didn't catch it, the Red Sox scored their run in very strange fashion. I'll try to outline it, and then Brando or Fenny come in and fill in where necessary. So there was 1 out, but on the scoreboard, it said 2 out. This was in the 7th inning. Red Sox at the dish, fly out. It's caught. And then they tag the guy out, or they send it to 1. Vladdy touches the bag. So it was a double play. Should be 3 out, right?
Yes.
The runners, having looked at the scoreboard, were casually going around thinking there was 2 out. And the runner on third scored. Like he crossed the plate well before the ball was caught. And then the Jays also assumed there was, 3 out, and there was no issue, and they didn't contest the runner not tagging up at third, and they didn't tag third base or touch third. So they had to go to review, and like the explanation from the crew chief, he did a good job articulating. Even you could tell was like, okay, I got to describe this properly. And basically he said there was confusion. We had to send it to New York, and then they're going to handle it. And then, Brandon, when they came back, they said because the runner scored well in advance of the ball being caught, and this is just seconds because the ball only hangs in the air for so long.
Actually, Tom, it was because he scored before the 3rd out.
The 3rd out. Sorry, my bad. See, I'm screwing it up.
Yeah, before the runner was doubled off back at first base.
That's right.
Because he scored before that happened, then the run counted, which
they called it a timing play.
Doesn't make any sense,
right?
Because he shouldn't have been allowed to leave the base because there was only 1 out at the time of contact.
Neither runner tagged up.
Yeah, it's super confusing, very unique, and I had a good laugh because our buddy Tyler Remchuk, he had put a tweet out. He was watching the game at a bar with some buddies or something.
Yeah.
No sound on, right? No broadcast. So trying to understand what's happening without the explanation of the broadcaster and the umpires on mic and stadium deal, I would have been lost, as I'm sure many others were.
Yeah.
I was pretty lost watching it on my couch with the sound on. I've never seen anything like that before. The broadcasters were pretty confused. Hazel May was down in the dugout talking to a few people, seeing, have you ever seen this before? And Max Scherzer said he's had actually been involved in something like this before, which I found incredibly hard to believe. But I guess when you play as long as he does, you've probably seen it all. So
sure,
very odd, very unique. Thankfully, the Jays managed to squeeze out the game, which was huge for them, especially like their bullpen is running on fumes here. They've been used so much, and then Jameson Taillon has to exit the game earlier than expected with some discomfort or tightness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden, going for within essentially 1 week, having the Jays have too many starting pitchers again. Now they're staring down the barrel of once again needing to have a bullpen day in the rotation.
Yeah,
which it held them in for the first part of this season. Like that was not their biggest problem because Spencer Miles actually was very, very impressive, but you can't expect to continue to try and keep yourself in this mix. I think if you're rolling that out every 5th day, I can't see it.
It's an uphill battle. And going into action yesterday, I know they're 3.5 games back before the game was played and the win over the Red Sox. That's great. But there's 5 teams between them and Texas. that's tough. Not saying it's impossible, and really you shouldn't worry about the other thing. You should worry about your own business.
That's it. That's exactly it, Tom. You essentially need to get hot for one good stretch to close that gap and leapfrog at least a couple, and then after that, get back into your dogfight of scratching and clawing to close the final couple games. But that the number of teams in between them and the final wildcard spot is the biggest obstacle, in my opinion, that they face in this internal pursuit that believe they can still make a push here.
I am with you on that. Fenny, Blue Jays, anything? No. He said, no, thank you. We got a couple of texts to get to. KK coming up in about 5 minutes. Not Fred texted and said, but the other part was that the Blue Jays were arguing that the umps called everybody off the field, and so the Blue Jays didn't have an opportunity to contest the guy not tagging up at third. And that's fair. That's fair. They showed the wide angle shot, and the Jays just casually thinking that they had 3 outs, which they did. They just went off. As you would expect them to, naturally. iMac texting in says, as much as I was scratching my head, in ball, you're never supposed to leave the field if you think anything about a play is odd or maybe contested. They kind of should have known not to leave. I understand that argument too. But at the same, that was such a weird scenario. And I guess ultimately you should be very thorough and somebody should have been paying attention. But that has happened in baseball where even the umps screw stuff like that up and they throw everybody off. But yeah, that was a weird one. RP says that play is not hard to understand. The responsibility is on the Jays to appeal the tag up at third. The runner can go anytime he wants. If not appealed, the runner scores. The rules allow for a quote-unquote fourth out in such cases, which this is a scenario of fourth out. They could have negated the run if they appealed at third before leaving the field. Pretty simple, says RP. Fair enough. Be thorough. Be thorough. Matt and Leduc says an apple a day keeps the doctor away because even the doctor wants nothing to do with your garbage electronics. Okay. And then King of Fort Nasty says that Jonathan Taylor Thomas thinks he's so cool. JTT was the man back then. He was the voice of Simba in the original Lion King. Good memory. Good memory. All right. We got to get to the Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fusion Promo Marketing. Expand your brand, high quality promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Get noticed at fusionpromomarketing.ca. That's Fusion with the Z. Carry us on the way next. In for Spect, here's Brando with the sports update.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Toronto Blue Jays take the opener of their set against the Red Sox 2-1 from downtown Toronto. Chucky McAdoo has returned to the lineup, hit the solo shot, and Simeon Woods-Richardson coming in relief for Jameson Taillon, who left the game with discomfort after 4 innings pitched, picks up the win. Louis Varland, 25th save of the season. Around the rest of the league, lighter day on the schedule. Twins beat the Orioles 9-5. Rays get past the Athletics 10-6. Padres beat the Brewers 3-2. And in the nightcap, the Dodgers over the Royals 6-5. Coming up in hour 2 of the Tom Gazzola Show, we'll be joined by local retired man Kevin Karras, as well as Lucas Weiss from The Athletic, covering the National Bank Open. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Summer weekends in Alberta mean one thing: tournament season.
I brought the folding chairs. I brought the sunscreen. I brought the umbrella, just in case.
But who brought the snacks to get through a doubleheader?
I got Alberta's best beef jerky.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky, the ultimate sideline fuel. Whether you're cheering on the kids or watching the pros, load up on Alberta's best beef jerky.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky, because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. for just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
Founded by a former pro motorsports competitor, Evolve Wheels and Tires brings decades of experience in custom wheels, lowering kits, lift kits, and accessories. Visit Evolve Wheels and Tires in West Edmonton, Edmonton's premium wheel specialists. Evolve your ride, evolve your experience.
Tap into the fun of Play Alberta's most popular casino games. From the fast-paced spins of Cash Eruption to the retro thrills of Sevens Wild, online excitement is always at your fingertips. Spin through your choice of popular slots or discover Alberta-exclusive games you won't find anywhere else. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Tee up for a great day on the course and support the Stony Plain Eagles Senior Men's Hockey Club. It's the Stony Plain Eagles Golf Tournament. Gather your foursome and join the Eagles August 25th at the Links at Spruce Grove for a 2 p.m. shotgun start. Enjoy a fantastic afternoon of golf, great company, and friendly competition, all while supporting the Stony Plain Eagles. Get all the details and register today at stonyplaineagles.com.
Want to invest in Alberta's workforce, fill your talent pipeline, and get funding? Careers, the next generation connects employers with motivated, pre-vetted youth through funded internships. Easy, impactful, and risk-free.
When you work with a group like Careers who have experience in that area, they can demystify and navigate all the complex steps and stakeholders that have to be involved.
Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Recently, our company softball team lost the big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Well, Dale and I are very different. I get early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Thanks, Bet365.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply.
The Tom Gazzola Show. Oiler insider and Jersey aficionado. Edmonton's sports leader. Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we're here to stay.
Hour number 2 of the Tom Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365. Good morning. Hope you're doing well out there. Happy Tuesday to you. We're in the dog days of the summer, and that's just fine. That's just fine. Bet365. By the way, Canada just hit the biggest home run of the summer. Bet365 is available in Alberta, and it's here to stay. Download the app. Must be 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Text us 1-833-401-1440. Time to get to On the Mark, but special On the Mark for the rest of the week with Kevin Carius. And it's brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Employee pricing extended in August on every car, truck, or SUV. Be sure to check out the Corvette showroom. Stop in, see their great selection at northgategm.com. As Brian Desjardins reminded us, he said, remember to give Kevin his hottie from 1988. And here it is. Okay, you see it? This is from Brian Desjardins.
Oh, wow.
He has 1988 hair of the year. I feel like this is a little bit after 1988, but you're looking good. Very happy in that picture.
That's more than 88. Come on now.
I know. I know. I have it here for you. We've saved it, and it was nice of Brian to do that. How are you, KK? What's going on?
I don't know. I can't believe this show's still going on now, Tommy, after the last 6 weeks. I mean, you're going on holidays. Duke's going to Toronto. What, Specs camping with Evander Kane? What's going on here, man?
Yeah, we didn't really broach that one too much. We just kind of let it be. But yeah, all hell broke loose once you decided to hang them up. What's retired life like? What are you doing? You look very comfortable right now.
Highly recommend it. It's just one day after another. You were saying the dog days of summer. Oh, no, there are no dog days in retirement, Tommy. Every day is just a great day. Do whatever you want. Been golfing, doing a little yard work, some gardening. But man, it's quite relaxing. And as I said, I highly recommend it, big guy.
Good, well deserved. You got the boys in here giggling, so they're happy to hear that. How is the golf game? You and Murray McCourt going out more than just once a week now?
Well, we played Glendale actually, and Schlemmer texted me yesterday. He wanted to see if I could get out on Thursday, but I'm tied up on Thursday. But played Glendale on Sunday. That's just such a tough track. But yeah, we played with the Ranch boys at the Glendale. Bruce Hardy was nice enough, and Jeff McGregor to have us out. So it's just a tough track, but it's such a test. You're bringing out every shot in the bag, every club you're using. It's a challenging golf course. I don't know if I could be like Schlemmer and play it 3 times a week though. It's tough for sure.
Slick greens at Glendale, right?
Those greens are as fast. They were as fast as we played probably all season long. We used to have that Millwoods Pro-Am. They had it again this year. I wasn't able to play in it, but those greens, they junk them up and slick them up. The greens at the Glendale were lightning quick. There was, I don't know, 3 putts all over the day for sure.
Bruce and Jeff, great guys out at the Glendale. Hopefully, I don't know, the Oilers usually do their media day out there, and we do that golf tournament. Maybe we're doing it again, hopefully.
I talked to Bruce about it. Haven't heard yet, but that's still a little bit. Usually they do it mid-September. Maybe because of everything moving up a little bit. Maybe they move it up too. But that was the Barry Cates Memorial for sure. It's lots of fun. Great event that the Oilers comms department puts on for sure.
Yeah, they do a really nice job with that one. It's a nice way to kind of unofficially kick off the season. Hey, and I know we were talking about this earlier, KK, like the itch for hockey, kind of put it out there. Are people feeling it? For the most part, no. There's been a couple of responses on the text line where people are going, you know what? It's been too long of a off season. And obviously you get that, especially when the Oilers are knocked out in early May. And we're used to them going deep the last couple of years into June, and obviously almost into July for those Stanley Cup runs. But do you have that itch for hockey? I know we all love the game, but
yeah, no, I don't have it yet, Tommy. For me, I think every year I would never get it until into September. And once camp rolls around, it's just because it's such. And again, as you mentioned, the last 2 years prior to this last one, when they lost in the first round, with them going so deep, basically to the end of June all the time, we never had to experience what we did this last year when they were knocked out in the first round. So, but for me, it didn't matter what type of season that the team had before, and think about all the times they never made the playoffs. I never ever got the itch covering the team until September when camp would roll around. So
yeah,
but maybe that's just me. I like to break up the seasons for sure. But I'll get it maybe in about 3 weeks or so, something like that.
I'm with you on that. And as of today, we're a month away from rookies reporting for medicals and physicals, and then 5 days later, it'll be the main crew and the veterans getting in there. And then just 3 days after that, on the 19th, is the first preseason game. And then just 4 preseason games this year, which is kind of a nice, refreshing thing. And then KK, the 29th of September is game number 1 of the season. What do you make of the 84 game schedule and how everything has been moved up the way it has?
I wish they would go down, to be honest with you. It'll never happen. We know that. Because of the money that gets generated by adding games now to 84. But I've always, even before it was 82 and even 80, I thought 72 was lots, but it'll never happen that way. That's just how the money is generated and how the pie is divvied up. But for me, season's too compacted as it is. So I'd rather them have fewer games than more.
I'm with you, but wait till we get to 34 teams and then 36 teams, like is being discussed and rumored.
Mhm.
And by the way, you talk about the money. I think it was Alan Walsh who put it out there a few days ago. $3.5 billion per expansion team.
Mhm.
It's just getting insane. So yeah, if you're thinking that this is going to be streamlined and pared down at all, not a chance in hell, because the almighty dollar kind of controls everything.
Wasn't that money though for 3.5? Basically, that includes the building as well, Tommy.
Okay.
You're looking at, I think, two bill for the expansion fee, which the owners obviously want because that gets divvied up, and each owner is going to pick up whatever it is, 50, 60 mil or 40, whatever it is when you divvy it up. But I think that 3.5 also includes the $1.5 billion for the new facility wherever it is.
Yeah, apparently Atlanta's already building its new facility. Talking to Dave Pagnotta a few weeks ago. So yeah, this thing, if you don't think it's happening, it's definitely happening. So we'll see how the NHL continues to expand. Kevin Carrius with us, filling in for Spec on the Mark, brought to you by Northgate Buick GMC. KK, the Elks drop a couple of games in a row. Obviously, a tough part of the schedule. They get that first win in Regina, lose a close one at home to the Riders. Then they go in tough second half against the Alouettes. What do you make of the 6-3 Elks at this point?
If you were to say at the start of the year, would you be happy with where they're at 6-3? I'm pretty sure every fan, even a lot of the players and management, would say we're happy with that 6-3 mark at the halfway point of the season. Having said that, there's still some concern. This team, I don't think the team is at the level of, say, where Saskatchewan or Montreal is right now. And I think they have to, the gap is a lot wider than maybe some people think. So they have to shore things up here in the second half in several areas of the team. Have to find a way to get, I think, their playmakers the ball a lot more as far as touches go. And that is obviously when we're talking about Justin Rankin. But, some alarming things for me, like if you look at the Montreal game, they're right there. And then the momentum swayed at halftime right before with what happened with the non-gamble on third and a yard and a bit, and then with Montreal getting the points right after. But to me, that carried over into the third quarter, and that's the part where a team has to be able to right itself, and that didn't happen because I think what was it 17-0 the points in the third quarter for Montreal.
Yeah.
So to me, that was the more alarming thing. And concerning aspect, more so than what happened at the end of the second quarter. To me, it was about the third quarter, and they weren't able to get themselves back on track after what happened at the end of the second. And that's just part of growth. That's part of a team, still finding its way, learning its way to be where this team wants to be. So there's still some good points, good positive things that have happened in the first half, and looking forward for the second half starting this Saturday against Toronto.
Yeah, the Elks blank the Elks in the third quarter there, and then obviously in the fourth, the Elks were managing to put up points. How do you like their chances against an Argos team that's coming off a decent win against Calgary? I know there's flaws in both teams' game, a lot of interceptions. Vernon Adams is kind of, I don't want to say, like, I've kind of told Eddie Steele he kind of fades late in seasons, but great start for VA, and the Stamps are a decent team, but Chad Kelly's Chad Kelly. He was a great player and continues to be a good, effective quarterback, and he's kind of leading an Argos team that's gone through a lot of changes in the offseason to a respectable record in the Eastern Division. So it's not going to be an easy game this weekend for the Elks, but I look at it as a prime opportunity if their mind's in the right spot to bounce back against Toronto. How do you see it?
Well, you can't take Toronto lightly, for sure. If you were to go back to that Toronto-Calgary game, and I think the turnovers were heavily favored. If you were to say, I think it was 4-0 as far as turnovers go and interceptions. So if you were to say, throw that stat out, everyone would have said, well, Calgary's going to win that game for sure. But I wouldn't take Toronto lightly, for sure. And I mean, they got to get back on track here, because when you start you start stringing the losses together like they have, in the sense that they've lost the last two games, and this is a perfect opportunity to get back on track, and more so just get off to a good start in the second half. And Ed Hervey always used to say, even when he was playing here, that the football season really doesn't start until around Labor Day in the CFL, especially with the Double E, because with the home and home against Calgary, that's where you're either moving forward to where your team is going to be solidifying a playoff spot, or you're starting to chase it. And they've always, we know since 2019, they've been chasing it around Labor Day. So they don't want to put themselves in that position. So that starts Saturday against Toronto.
All right. Well, we had a great crowd in that Rider game, and obviously it's boosted up by Saskatchewan fans that either live here or made the trek out to Edmonton, and that was such an awesome atmosphere, a really great time, fun game to cover and be a part of. What do you think we get this weekend, especially if the weather holds? Because I know it's kind of been iffy and the temperatures and forecast kind of look up and down, but if we get a decent Saturday weather-wise, do you expect there to be at least 20,000?
I would say 20. You got to get 20 for sure. I think the team franchise players would be disappointed if it was less than 20. Having said that, it's, as you said, it's a Saturday game. It's an afternoon game. The team is playing well enough that the fans should be supporting them a little bit more than what they have, minus that Saskatchewan game. So I would hope that there's 20, but I'm not so sure that we'll see 20.
I hope we do, but I'm being optimistic. Okay, KK, there's a bunch of texts that have come in for you. Obviously, you're highly regarded and missed. I can only do so much stepping in for you, but let me read off a few of them. Mont says, ask him about his last game at Last Oak Golf and Country Club.
Well, okay, here's the thing. I was back for the JLG on the long weekend of August. It's the John Lay gang. We've been doing this was our 42nd year. Let me just say this, and Duke and I have howled a few times. You and I have run and howled a couple of times on the road and stuff, Tommy.
Yeah.
We don't have, in the tournament, there is not closest to the pin. The trophy is closest to oblivion. And if I wasn't in the running for it, I don't know what more I have to do. How's that sound?
Sounds like a lovely time.
It's a torture test.
Yeah.
It's 3 days of up early. Well, not up early, but starting, you're cracking your first beer at about 10:30. And then you just continue on, Tommy, just for the rest of the day. See how long you can make it. But I had a bit of a rougher go on the Saturday for sure.
Okay, good to know. Got the update there. Bonaccord Greg says, hey, KK, with all this time off, have you finally played enough golf to move away from the ladies' tee box? Just kidding. Miss you on the show. Enjoy your retirement.
No, yeah. You think that the more you play, the better you would get. But for me, and this summer sort of got away, Tommy, and I think next year I'm going to really get into a lot more of the practicing. If you don't put the work in on the range and on the putting green and, around the chipping area, you're not going to improve your game. So next year, I'm really going to get into a lot more of that to try to improve the game, because that's where it all starts.
Yeah, you got to put in the work, and then the results come after that. Obviously, good point. Ashley says, good morning, Tom. Please say hello to Kevin for me. I was very excited when I saw he's filling in for Mark this week. Looking forward to listening. And then Jordan wants to know, hey, KK, have you ordered anything online yet? And I've kind of heard a bit about this. You don't do online ordering and shopping?
No, I've never bought anything online. Even just to get this link for the video for this show was a work in progress. But I had a little practice because I was on Gregor's yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm going to fill it in at 5:00 for spec on Gregor's show. But something happened to the link about, I don't know, we had just about 10 minutes in, and the link, something happened and we lost the connection. So, but hey, pretty smooth so far here, Tommy.
We're doing good. We're going to be just fine this week, KK. This has been a treat, and we're going to do it all over again tomorrow. Okay, enjoy the rest of your day. Don't work too hard, all right?
Well, I got to take the dog for a walk, and then I'm going to go pick a few tomatoes and just work a little bit outside here today. It's it's tough sledding, Tommy.
I don't know how you do it. High stress, KK. Okay, buddy, good to see you. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Take care, man. Thanks.
There you go. That's On the Mark with Kevin Carius. Great to have him back on. And that's brought to you by and powered by Northgate. This truck's for you. I like all the texts that are coming in for KK. The chirps are good too. Some good chirps in there. And a couple of them, Corey, I see yours about the itch. I'll leave that one alone and not read it on the air, but kind of made me giggle a little bit. All right, we got to step out. When we come back, we're going to talk about the National Bank Open with Lucas Weiss. He's covering that for The Athletic. Very exciting stuff going on. Leila Fernandez is out, but we have our semis, or at least one of them set, and then the quarters continue tonight in Toronto. On the men's side, the guys going in Montreal. Lucas is covering the women's side, so we'll discuss with him right after this.
Recently, our company softball team lost a big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Well, Dale and I are very different. I get early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Thanks, Bet365.
Must be 18 or older. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Standard message and data rates may apply. T's and C's apply.
Are you a skilled laborer? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you. A heavy equipment operator with track hoe or backhoe experience, All-Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All-Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All-Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with track hoe or backhoe experience searching for work, search All-Star Construction on Indeed.
They're going all out to earn your business at Wolf GMC Buick. Right now, they're seriously overstocked on over 400 pieces of inventory on clearance and ready to move. See for yourself. Click on the clearance tab at wolfgmcbuick.com. And it gets even better. Employee pricing continues with huge cash discounts, 0% purchase financing, and low lease rates on select vehicles. Once again, see their website for details or stop in today. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Edmonton sports fans, stay informed with Sports 1440. Stream us. Listen to us on the AM dial. However you consume this radio station, thanks for listening.
You're in charge of ordering boxes. Small boxes, big boxes, really big boxes. You're in charge of tape, labels, mailers, bubble wrap, extra bubble wrap, just for fun. You're in charge of warehouse cleaning and safety supplies. Good thing there's Uline. Thousands of quality products for your business and warehouse needs, always in stock, ready to ship same day, and backed by Uline's legendary 24/7 customer service. Uline makes it easy because you already do enough. Uline, we warehouse for you.
Legendary is here with BetMGM Sportsbook. Sign up now to unlock access to hundreds of pre-match and live betting options for all your favorite sports. Download the BetMGM app. See BetMGM.com for terms. 18 plus, Alberta only. Please play responsibly. Subject to eligibility requirements.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with the Alberta iGaming Corporation. Standard message and data rates may apply.
The Tom Gazzola Show on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
$8:24. Happy Tuesday. You're listening to the Tom Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365, right here on Sports 1440. Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick in studio with me, and we're going to go to Toronto. We're going to talk a little bit of tennis with our good buddy, Lucas Weiss from The Athletic, covering the National Bank Open. He is our headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing, the MVP you didn't know you needed. For all your plumbing needs, go to mrrooter.ca. We're getting into the semifinals. One of them set on the women's side. We've got some quarters still going on. The men playing out in Montreal. And Lucas, I mean, yesterday's action was pretty good. Give us a rundown of what we saw yesterday as we're getting closer and closer to the final here.
Well, thanks for having me on, Tommy. Yeah, the women's quarterfinals started yesterday in Toronto, and Iga Swiatek was the headline result. I thought that she's had an interesting season where she hasn't won a title yet, which is so hard to believe given that she's a 6-time slam champion, often one of the main characters on the WTA tour, but she's taking a bit of time to try to rekindle her form, but it really feels like it's all coming together this week in Toronto, and she won in very convincing fashion, defeating Diana Schneider in straight sets. And what I was so impressed with Swiatek was just her ability to just keep the ball in the middle of the court. It wasn't this complicated game. It was a very windy match, so Schneider was making a lot of mistakes, and Swiatek just said, you know what, I'm just going to keep the ball in play, hit with some depth, and force Schneider to make unforced errors, and that's what happened. And Swiatek is into her second WTA 1000 semifinal of this year, and she's taking on Alina Svitolina, who had to come back from a set down to beat Ekaterina Alexandrova. So it's setting up for a fantastic semifinal because both of these players have played each other many times before. They've actually played twice already this year, with Svitolina winning both matches. So Swiatek's going to try to change that to try to get to the National Bank Open final here in Toronto.
And I was following along with you yesterday. A lot of Polish content in the stadium, a lot of Ukrainian content in the stadium as well.
Yeah, it's been an incredible tournament of just, various diasporas coming out to see the tennis. I mean, Toronto is a multicultural city. Tennis is a global sport. It's going to bring a lot of countries out of the woodwork to support their athletes. But I feel like this tournament in particular, obviously the exclamation point being Filipino tennis sensation Alex Ayala, and how the Filipino community came out to support her. But yeah, we saw a lot of passionate Polish fans yesterday. I chatted with some of them before the match, and for them, it was their first ever tennis tournament they went to because they just wanted to see Iga Swiatek in person. Of course, Toronto has a big Ukrainian community, so there was a lot of blue and yellow in the crowd, a lot of Ukrainian flags. So it's just so great to see it, and they bring a lot of energy to the tennis.
The other quarterfinals today, we're going to see Osaka against Rybakina, and then Goff versus Bencic. Tee up those matchups for us, if you will.
Yeah, Coco Gauff, again, like Swiatek, trying to win her first WTA title this year in singles. Hasn't happened yet. And I think for her, she's just coming into form on the hard court. It's very similar to when she won her first U.S. Open, her first slam title in 2023. She won Cincinnati before that. And you just felt like the momentum is building in her way. And she's just been playing a great game. She hasn't dropped a set yet this tournament. Of course, she's facing Belinda Bencic, who had a great win against Ayala. So that should be a fantastic match. And then the nightcap is Naomi Osaka and Elena Rybakina, 6 slam titles combined on center court that will be tonight between those two players. And take this, Tommy, they've never met before. This is their first ever meeting as professionals. So I wouldn't want to be a tennis ball tonight because these two players bring a lot of power. It's going to be a power fest, especially from the baseline, because these are two of the hardest hitters on the WTA Tour. So we're in for a great night of tennis tonight.
Excellent. Looks like the weather's been great as well, and the broadcast has been awesome, and the action on the court as well. Lucas Weiss joining us. He is our Mr. Rooter Plumbing headliner of the day, covering the National Bank Open out in Toronto. Okay, Leylah Fernandez, I know she was ousted and maybe didn't have a great outing, her last performance, but what can you say about the way she handled herself this tournament?
I think it's a big tournament for Leylah. She's had a disappointing season to her standards. I think for her, she's really struggled to find consistency. She's had some wins, but then ultimately follows it with losses. I thought her win against the current French Open champion Mira Andreeva was the highlight of her time here in Toronto. I thought she played very smart. Again, like Swiatek yesterday, just kept the ball in play and really showcasing that fighting spirit, right? And that was a big win for her. Now, like you said, I think she did not play that great against Naomi Osaka. She made too many unforced errors, didn't take advantage of the opportunities that she had. But I think Layla's playing with positivity, and I think that that's very important to her. This is a stretch of the season where she's had success in the past. Of course, in 2021, she made the U.S. Open final. She added a coach to her team, Eric Hechtman, who has worked with the Williams sisters in the past. So he, along with her dad, Jorge, is the coaching team at the moment. So she's still trying to figure a lot of things out, but hopefully Layla can take some confidence. Of course, tennis, you know this, Tommy, nothing is ever guaranteed from one tournament to the next, but you just hope that she can take some confidence from this because it has been a disappointing season for her.
Okay, Lucas, I got to follow up with more Canadian content. How's Bianca doing? She was ousted early in the tournament. Like, what's going on with her? I know she's been banged up the last couple of years in terms of injuries and all that, but what's the latest on Bianca?
Yeah, I think two things can be true. And I thought about this when she, spoke with the media before the tournament, when she played in the tournament before losing. I mean, that 2019 tournament, which, hard to believe now is, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Is, one of the great Canadian sports moments. And that year as a whole for Bianca, winning Indian Wells, winning on home soil, the National Bank Open, before winning the U.S. Open, the first Canadian man or woman to win a single slam. So that year is written into the history books. But that said, I mean, tennis keeps going, right? It's like a treadmill. It's not going to stop for everybody. And you mentioned it, the injuries. She's been open about her mental health struggles. So it's been a lot for Bianca to get back. And now she has to qualify. I mean, she has to qualify into tournaments, right? I mean, that's where she is right now in the rankings. So I think for me, the takeaway is there's glimpses of that brilliance that we saw. I mean, she's someone that when she was at the peak would hit so many different shots, whether it was the power from the baseline. She would love to bring opponents in with that drop shot, the slice to mix up the pace. But I just think that now the competition's a lot better, right? And she just doesn't have the match experience to get through some of these tougher matches. So I think for Bianca, I mean, the fact I think for me, the big takeaway is that she's positive. She seems to be in mentally a good place physically. She got through this tournament with no injuries, which is very important. So we'll have to see how it goes. But look, it's a tough WTA tour. It's never been deeper, the competition. So Bianca's going to keep trying. But again, 7 years, a long time in tennis. And it may be hard to get back to that peak in 2019.
Well said. Good point. I can't believe it has been that long. That's unbelievable. Lucas, how about on the men's side over in Montreal? How much have you been able to keep tabs on things? I know Ben Shelton's defending champ. How much can you tell us about what's going on over on Montreal's side of things?
Yeah, just a weird tournament. I mean, there's been rain. I mean, last night's night session got rained out. Of course, Felix Auger-Aliassime had to pull out. He didn't even serve a ball in match competition because he had a back injury during training. So wishing Felix nothing but the best, and hopefully he can recover in time for the U.S. Open because that's where he made the semifinals last year with a great run. But it's just such a weird time in the men's game, Tommy. I mean, when Yannick Sinner isn't in the draw, Carlos Alcaraz still coming back from injury. There's just a lot of guys right now trying to figure out, okay, can I find a way to win a very big title? This is an ATP Masters 1000. So the fact that the top of the game isn't there, it's presenting opportunities for a lot of guys. You said Ben Shelton. He's looking like a guy that could maybe repeat in Canada. Rafael Hodar is only 19, the young Spaniard. Could this be his breakthrough moment? We'll have to find out, but it's an interesting tournament, but a weird time, I think, in the men's tour, because I think you have these top two guys in Sinner and Alcaraz, when healthy, are clearly the two best players in the world. But then there's just a big drop-off, right, in terms of the quality and competition. But it presents opportunities for some of these lesser-known players.
Yeah. Well said. Well summed up. We'll see what happens the rest of the way at the NBO. Lucas, always great stuff from you, man. Appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thanks, Tommy. Have a great day.
There's Lucas Weiss, our headliner of the day, batting 1,000 against Clogs. That's MrRooter.ca. You can check out his stuff. Great stuff from Lucas Weiss over at The Athletic, the NBO. Yeah. Jack Michaels calling it on the ladies' side, which I think surprised some people, but he did play Div 3 NCAA tennis at Ithaca, if I recall correctly. If I'm getting his bio wrong, I don't care. I'll tell him straight up to his face. He would brag about it. So there's that. All right. What do we got here? Joe Spicoli. I'm not going to read that text. Anyway, how much have you guys been following the NBO? Because I dabble, but not much.
It's kind of one of the nice things, there's, especially earlier in the tournament, there's games on during the day. So when we're in studio here, you flick it on and have it as something to watch. Yes. When you get home, having some lunch, and then into the evenings. Like, it's a slower part of the sporting calendar. We've talked about that several times already this morning. So yeah, I'll dip into it. And then now we're at the quarterfinal, semifinal mark through the finish. It's a little bit, there's always an extra vested interest, I think, when there's a Canadian involved. Of course, last year, the run by Vicky and Boko was it captured the entire nation's attention.
Right.
I'm definitely not as heavily vested this year, but I'll more than likely be checking in on these final, handful of matches across each field.
You can check all of the action out on Sportsnet. Yeah, Jack doing his thing there. I find it odd because you hear him so much on a hockey broadcast, and then you're watching one of these tennis matches, and he's just golf with the serve. Wonderful forehand. He's just so calm. And I know that is not who he is. But he tamps it down for these broadcasts. And he likes tennis so much. He loves tennis. That I know he's trying to do everything in his power to be able to do more tennis events. That's our boy Jack. Pulsating serve, says Kyle. Tantalizing rally, says Jordan. Yeah, that's how he's supposed to sound. Instead, he's like, and the 23-year-old, elegant as always, having a great tournament. It's just not the same. It's a little bit different. But a versatile broadcaster and good friend, that Jack Michaels, I'll tell you what. And it is kind of neat to see him in a different sport, which I appreciate. All right. Good stuff from Lucas Weiss, our headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Rooter. We're going to take a quick breather. More on the way. A bunch of texts have come in. The KK chirps were great. He'll be with us all week long as we continue on here on the Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. And don't forget about our employee pricing. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country. At GS Construction, we won't quit until we find a way to get the job done. And the right person makes all the difference. We're looking for our next superintendent, an experienced leader ready to take on the role. Because while GS Construction is building the water, sewage, and drainage systems Edmonton communities rely on, the superintendent is building up the team. If you know how to keep a job site safe, productive, and moving, we want to hear from you. Visit gsconstruction.ca/careers today.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth. Fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
It's Dollar Drink Summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees. At participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Thinking of growing your business? In partnership with Prairie's Can, the Alberta Chambers of Commerce is helping businesses explore new opportunities, new markets, and build connections through organized trade missions across Canada. Find the right mission for you at abchamber.ca/trade missions.
For all your welding supplies, think AWS Welding. Located in Nisku, their readily stocked storefront carries a wide variety of welding glasses, cylinder rentals, plus welding rod, wire, and consumables. Same-day delivery is always available. And if they don't have it, AWS Welding will find it for you fast. Visit their online store today at awswelding.ca or give them a call or text at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. They make it happen.
Early mornings just got louder. For the hottest takes and the sports stories that actually matter to Edmonton, you need Tom Gazzola. Weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440 at 833-401-1440.
This jersey was worn by the legend himself, signed and everything. You can't just wear it. I'm framing it with expressions and images.
Your prized jersey deserves better than the closet. Think expressions and images. Your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
It might have been scraped by the snowblower, dented while door crashing, or crunched at the company Christmas party. At some point over the winter, your car was damaged and it's been hiding under a coat of winter grime.
Then come and see Robertson Body Works. We can take care of the damage and the dirt. This week only, call and book a repair and get a complete auto detailing absolutely free.
But you have to book your appointment before the week is up. Go to robertsonbodyworks.com.
I'm Tim Robertson, and I fix cars.
Recently, our company softball team lost a big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Well, Dale and I are very different. I get early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Thanks, Bet365.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. 18 plus all. T's and C's apply.
The Tom Gazzola Show. 60% talent, 40% Swedish hair cream. Edmonton's sports leader. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
We are bugging along here on the Tom Gazzola Show, presented by Bet365. Good morning. Hope you're having a good one out there today. Weather-wise, I know it called for a little bit of rain, but when I drove in, it was quite pleasant. Hopefully it still is. Tom, Brandon, Fenny with you. Text us 1-833-401-1440 if you do want to go to the football game this weekend. It is family day, as the Elks take on the Argos Saturday evening. Text in Elks to 1-833-401-1440. We've got pairs of tickets we're giving away every day, home game weeks for the Double E. And KK and I were talking on the mark earlier. He's filling in for Spec the rest of the week, that we're hoping for a pretty good crowd. Because, listen, you have that build up at 6-1 to the Saskatchewan game. You beat the Riders in Regina. It was the perfect storm for all the right reasons. Great game, great crowd, great environment and energy and all that stuff. Yes, the Elks dropped that one. Then they follow up and lose to Montreal, which is clearly the best team in the CFL. But should there still not be excitement for this team? Like, do those two losses take away that much from this game coming up on Saturday? I hope not. This is still a damn good team looking to bounce back. Brando? Fenny?
I'm inclined to agree with you, Tom. I am. And I think we kind of touched on this yesterday briefly about the potential numbers, and I kind of said, yeah, you'd have to hope for 20,000 again. I think I caught Gregor mention yesterday he thinks there's no reason there shouldn't be 25.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm almost a little trepidatious going back to the start of the season where after the good start and then the first few home games, I'm like, where are all the people? Why are there still, only 15,000 or even 10,000 people here?
Yeah.
But that it is still slower. And so that boost of the Saskatchewan game last time out, that can't be discounted, like how much of an impact that actually played in it. So I think 20,000 is a reasonable goal to set if you're the organization, if you are us from the outside looking in at it saying, how many do we expect? I think that's a fair number. If they exceed that, that's awesome. If they come up short, there should be reason for disappointment and certainly cause for concern again. Now, once again, the great equalizer and big factor in this is the weather.
Okay, well, I'm glad you brought that up.
Because if it's raining and it's miserable, it totally changes everything. We're talking about an outdoor sporting event. Is even the most diehard sometimes aren't really that interested in sitting out getting soaking wet for 3 hours straight.
I don't blame them. I do not want to sit out in the rain either for 3.5 hours.
Do you get a TSN issued rain jacket or do you get to bring your own rain jacket?
I bring my own, but I have a TSN issued rain jacket.
Is it as good as your own rain jacket in terms of water repelling?
Oh, water repelling, it's very efficient. It's just, it doesn't look right. It's like a TSN. It's blue with baby blue. So it doesn't really...
Then everyone's going to think you're on the Argos side. You're wearing double blue.
That's something you don't want to get crossed up in either.
Yeah, people already give you a hard enough time down that sideline as it is.
Which I appreciate, actually. I find it quite funny. There were two lovely ladies who I feel like I know at the last game.
You do.
I think I do. I couldn't tell who they were. They were wearing oversized sunglasses and were sitting comfortably in their seats like 25 rows up and screaming at me. And then when I waved to them, they both gave me a one-fingered salute. So thanks, whoever you were. I couldn't pick up on who they were, but I feel like I know them. But the weather was great that game. The buildup was there. The excitement for the team, the opponent. It was the perfect storm. Now, when we bring it closer to this game, and we look at the weather like you outlined, Brando, the week isn't good building up to Saturday, but Saturday from Environment Canada, which Josh Clausen always says, go to them if you're not coming to me with his weather blasts on CTV. Environment Canada says 22 and sunny on Saturday, the best day of the week. That's football weather.
That sounds like football weather to me.
Yeah.
Wetter.
Wetter weather? Won't need that baby blue.
Mutter was a mutter.
There you go. Won't need that TSN issued rain jacket. I even asked my producer, I'm like, do I wear this rain jacket that they sent me? And they're like, no. Do you have something better? I'm like, yes. Benny, how do you look at it?
At the CFL?
Yeah, this Saturday.
The Argos just love to sling the pill. But the DBs have played. I know Cordell Jackson sort of got cooked both games out against the Riders. But I think they have the DB core to sort of go up against this high flying offense that the Argos have. So I feel pretty good. I'm hoping that most people make it out. I'm going to be a little more bullish. I definitely think there's going to be more than 20,000 people at the stadium.
Good.
The Saturday game. I know it's supposed to rain all week, but you never know. Like, it's probably just going to rain from 10 o'clock to 2, and then everything will be fine after.
Well, sunny and 22 is what Environment Canada is saying about Saturday.
Well, and there we go. Yeah. I think it'll be good. I have full faith in the defense and offensive side of the ball for the Elks to get rolling. My question still lies in special teams because it's unbelievable to me how many problems they have. How many penalties they pick up, and just how undisciplined they look at times. So I'm hoping that is shored up pretty soon here because it's a big part of it's a very important part of the game, and it seems to be their Achilles heel every time out.
Chad Kelly, 1 TD, 4 picks last game.
Still won.
They still won. Now, Vernon Adams, no TDs, 2 interceptions, his first 2 of the season. But the Stamps DBs looked like ball hawks out there.
Ball hawking.
You put the Elks DBs out there against Chad Kellen, he's throwing up lame ducks like that. They're taking it back.
Yeah.
Pick sixes, or at least close to set up the
O-line
offense.
better hope they can tackle. They can chase.
Yeah. Well,
can their center catch Tyrell Ford? That is the $1 million question.
Tyrell Ford, 5 interceptions in his last 5 games.
That's not bad.
2 the other night.
Ooh, is that good?
I'd say that's pretty good.
Oh, all right. Pretty good.
Pretty good. All right. Hopefully, and we'll obviously ramp things up leading into Saturday when it comes to the Elks. We had Tyrell Ford on yesterday. He was fantastic, breaking down the loss in Montreal and taking a quick peek ahead to Saturday at Commonwealth against the Argonauts. Again, in my opinion, I'm biased, but a great opportunity for the Elks to get back into the win column and improve to 7-3. Hopefully, the weather holds up. It's looking good right now, and that means a lot of people show up and enjoy the splendor of their Double E faithful. Maybe you go to the tailgate. Maybe you have a cold one. Maybe you have a brat. There's always good stuff. Dave's in Section T cooking things up in his area of the tailgate. I know the Cordy clan's always out there. The Mahes are out there. I know Jay and Andrea have their spot. We know Reed Clark, Councilman Reed Clark, has his Deucey dogs that he gives those bad boys out for free. Good environment at the tailgate. Always a blast. And hopefully people take advantage of that on Saturday. Okay, we were talking about Jack Michaels last segment doing tennis. Rob in Cold Lake texting in says, hey guys, Rob out here in Cold Lake says, as I recall in my younger years, many a talented broadcaster could provide play-by-play or color in a number of sports from boxing to hockey, curling and football to basketball and baseball. This really comes through when a commentator would have to call the Olympics or Commonwealth Games. Thanks, guys. Yes, versatility is important. I love doing football. My favorite sport is hockey. I wouldn't mind covering baseball to try it. I've had the good fortune of covering a couple of IndyCar races that were here in Edmonton. I've done 1 or 2 basketball games. It's different. It's fun. It's a unique challenge. I interviewed to work on the broadcast team for the Olympics, and they're like, what sport do you want? I'm like, I don't care. Give me biathlon. I just want to go. So, yeah, I guess maybe you see less of it nowadays, but you still see some broadcasters who can do multi-sport coverage, which is great. Any thoughts on that? Because my classics were Steve Armitage, Don Whitman, Mark Connolly, local legend.
Yeah, well, I think of Joe Buck, obviously calling tons of NFL games. He would call the World Series for a long time. Like, that name stands out. Mike Tirico might be the shining example of it now, with all the different things that he calls. Golf, football, obviously goes over and does like studio hosting at the Olympics and stuff.
Does hockey sometimes.
Yeah, really cool element there. And then I think, of course, the legend for football, like college basketball, the Masters, like Jim Nantz. I think stands probably as one of the all-timers for ability to dabble and stick your toe in a bunch of different sports and be unreal at it. So, and Tirico calling basketball too. I didn't mention that in there, but so yeah, those guys still exist. Like, it's not like it's a bygone era. I think there's tons of broadcasters that still do a number of things. How about like Dan Schulman, right? Obviously the voice of the Blue Jays on Sportsnet, calls SEC basketball games.
That's
so
right.
Was I surprised to learn that Jack Michael called tennis, and maybe even slightly more surprised that he played tennis in college? Yeah, I guess so. But just shows he's a good broadcaster. You got to have a few different tools in your bag.
That's right. Don Whitman to me was like, anytime you heard him on a broadcast, whether it was a hockey game, football game, an Olympic event, it was just like reassuring. And he's been gone for a long time, passed away, I think almost 20 years ago, maybe more. But anytime you heard his voice on a broadcast, you're like, all right, this is going to be a good show. I was always entertained, at least. It's kind of neat. Really quickly, Jay and Victoria follows up. So it's an afternoon game. What time does a person head down to the tailgate experience? What's your over-under on Rankin's touches? Well, 1 o'clock start. Tailgate opens up. I think they try to go 3 hours prior to kickoff. So that would be, 10 a.m.? The food will be good. I think a bunch of crews out there will do brunches. We've seen that before. I know Scout with Elks Herd has done that. Him and Catherine. It's good. It's people will be ready to go for a 1 o'clock start. I'll probably get there around 11 and get set for the game. And then if the weather holds up, we're in for a good one. Now, when it comes to Justin Rankin's touches, he's got to have at least 15, I would think, on the ground, and then probably a couple of receptions as well. Try to get him as close to 20 as possible. Do you think he bounces back this week, boys?
Well, I thought he bounced back last week, but got the ball 7 times. He was averaging just under 10 yards per touch. I didn't understand just because they were trailing and like they started to go down the third quarter that they abandoned that element of the game. And this is something I've been really pounding the drum for really all season. And we've talked with Coach Killam a couple different times, both in post game and on the show and across the station here, about that element of you have a game plan, but then how much does game script and things that happen change that plan, and should it?
Yeah.
Right. And I get that. It's so much about the game and being a good coach and a good coordinator in the case of Jordan Maximic is adapting to things that happen in real time.
Yes.
But I just can't see a world where your best player is being pretty effective when he has the ball in his hand but he only gets it 7 times in the course of the entire game. I didn't really understand it. But I wasn't watching it in real time, so a few of the finer elements of it could very well be lost on me, and I'm perfectly okay admitting that because I watched it after the fact in a expanded highlight package format. So
yes, it was a busy weekend on many fronts.
Oh, it was, Tom.
I do recall Jordan Maximic telling us, because we have calls with each team when we're doing a broadcast, and he talked about the mentality, and I'm trying to paraphrase here. I'm trying to remember. You have your game plan in the first quarter, and then in the second and third, you adapt to what the defense is doing and things you're noticing with your guys. And then he says in the CFL, the fourth quarter is just chaos. It's hold on to your butts in the fourth quarter, as we know, but you still have to execute and you still have to have a plan in place. But the way he described it in a Cole's Notes version was kind of neat, I thought, at least in my opinion. All right, we got to step out for a quick breather. We do have to get to a sports update with Brandon, brought to you by AWS Welding Supplies in Nisku. Product sales, servicing, calibrating, and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. Your one-stop shop for all things welding, awswelding.ca. Here's Brandon.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Toronto Blue Jays taking the series opener over the Red Sox 2-1 last night from Rogers Center. Charlie McAdoo homering in the victory. Another bullpen taxing day as Jamison Tyon left the game after 4 innings pitched with some discomfort. Louis Varland picking up his 25th save of the season in the victory. Across the rest of the majors, lighter schedule with several teams in transit. Orioles fell to the Twins 9-5. Phillies over the Cardinals 6-5. Rays top the Athletics 10-6. And in the nightcap, the Royals fell to the Dodgers 6-5. Coming up in hour 3 of the Tom Gazzola Show, we'll be joined by Ryan Payton from Sirius XM NHL Radio. Colin Livingston from Cantor, and we'll check in with a new edition of In or Out. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Greger for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Edmonton sports fans stay informed with Sports 1440. Stream us. Listen to us on the AM dial. However you consume this radio station, thanks for listening.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
This summer, cheer on your favorite teams at Sully's Sports Bar and Lounge. Never a bad seat in the house with tons of big screens. Plus, Sully's Big League menu has it all. Small bites and big bites, game day food and drink features, something for everyone. From the gridiron to the diamond, this is the place to catch all the action all summer long. Sully's Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Every day is game day at Century Casino.
Hey, Edmonton, thinking about your next SUV? Think Subaru. The Subaru Forester has earned an IIHS top safety pick or higher for 20 years in a row. Add legendary Subaru symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and the 2026 JD Power Canada Best Residual Value Award among compact SUVs, and you've got an SUV that's built to protect today and hold its value tomorrow. This month, take advantage of loyalty rates as low as 0.99%. Come test drive the Forester at your local Subaru dealership today. Welcome to Uncommon.
The Tom Gazzola Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we're here to stay.
Hour number 3 of the Tom Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365. Canada just hit the biggest home run of the summer. Bet365 is available in Alberta, and it's here to stay. Download the app. Must be 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Text us 1-833-401-1440. And we want to hear from you. Of course, some great texts have come in already today. And if you want a pair of tickets to the Elks game this weekend, we're giving those away. Just text in Elks. Simply Elks to 1-833-401-1440. Okay, we're going to talk a little racing. Colin and I were already talking racing out in the, what's that area called? Our foyer?
The bar.
The bar. I was making coffee and we're getting into it. F1 is in its summer break. You were telling me about what happened last week at Trois Rivières. And then your crew has a ton of work to get things ready by Thursday after a nasty collision for Alex Tagliani.
Yep.
And then on top of that, I asked you about the Indy and the new car coming in 2020. And I don't care. Colin Livingston from Cantork. What's up, Colin? How are you?
Never short of an opinion. Good to be here, Tommy.
That's why I love you.
I appreciate the opportunity to talk more motorsports.
Yes, I enjoy motorsports. They're fun to quite fun.
Well, listening to the lead-in, talking about all the sports that you want to broadcast or have in the past, like, there's no time for broadcasting because we just don't have the setup, but you still need to come out to a go-kart race.
I want it. You told me you extended an invite when we were at KK's going away.
Yep.
I want to do it. I'm just fascinated by racing, the engineering. I ask you a million basic questions that you're probably like, oh, this guy knows
Those
nothing.
are about the only ones I'm qualified to answer. No, I'm not a mechanic. I'm not an engineer. I have a functional knowledge of how these things go, but the guys who really work on these setups, they're 10 levels above where I'm at.
It's amazing when you listen to the pit crews and the engineers and the guys that do the race strategy and how it all has to be orchestrated and work together. And
oh yeah,
varying levels of racing and motorsport, obviously, and they all have their unique challenges. But to me, as an outsider to that element and that sport, I'm just like, that is so damn cool, because basically you're strapping a rocket ship to 4 wheels.
There's a metamorphosis that happens. I've talked about this a few times, but the first times you get into a racing vehicle, I don't care if it's a go-kart, a stock car, a drag, it doesn't matter what it is. There's a transition that has to take place because your brain is naturally programmed to keep you alive. And as you start driving beyond what you've normally done, I don't care if you were wild as a kid, you're not really driving things to the edge. You're spinning your tires or you're maybe accelerating a little bit, but it's in a big open highway or what have you.
Yeah.
When you start doing it for real, your brain's natural programming is to say, don't die. So despite the fact that your body maybe feels like you could drive a little bit further into the corner, you can carry a bit more speed, your brain's telling you not to because it deems it as dangerous.
Sure.
So there's this metamorphosis that happens where eventually that part of your brain gets turned off and you can start getting focused, if you get through that, but your brain starts getting focused on, where am I losing grip? Where can I find a mistake that the guy in front of me is making so that you're in that moment? Like the comparison I always come up with is like when you first got your driver's license, when anyone first gets their driver's license, it's super conscious driving. Like you have to think like, okay, I've got to turn left, which means I've got to take the signal light and that the lever, it goes down. Okay. And blah, 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 blah. If I asked you about your drive to the studio this morning, I bet you can't really tell me anything because you were listening to the radio, or maybe you had a phone call, something about the show. Like you're engaged in all these other things because the driving isn't what you're thinking about anymore. You're paying attention to what's on the road, but the mechanics of what you're doing, you're not paying attention.
Right.
You couldn't tell me what your engine temperature was, what the transmission temperature, none of that. Same kind of thing in racing. When you're not thinking about what you're doing anymore, you're thinking about how to get a little bit better. But one of the coolest things I get to do now, I get to work with Alex and I get to, be around all these other drivers, but getting into the debriefs after our race sessions and listening to, not even Alex, like we've got our other team, the Radical team through Tag One Motorsports, and getting to sit with the main engineer and watch him go through the data and do the video analysis with each driver. that is like some of the coolest stuff I get to see.
That would be so fascinating. I would not comprehend a lot of it, but I would just be like, oh my God, the amount of information that needs to be processed, not just by the driver, but by everybody on the team.
Yep.
Again, to be in unison, to have a winning race or a good result, to me, it's just like an orchestra, like 100-piece band or something like that.
It's the same thing that every level of racing does, like whether it's IndyCar, Formula One, Formula 2, Indy Next, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
After every session, this is what the drivers and the engineers do. Like, in these Formula cars and Indy cars, they've got full telemetry. And on our cars, even the Radical, we can check brake pressure, throttle position, steering inputs, the attitude of the car. We can see all this stuff with the onboard telemetry. Even in my go-kart, I can see a lot of these things.
Which is cool.
I kind of ignore it because I just base my results off of my lap time and where I finish.
Yeah, you're a field guy, hey?
100%.
Yeah.
If there was a ratio higher, yes.
Yeah.
That's all. I don't have the brains to say that, we really need to change this gear ratio to this, or if I do a half PSI tire pressure change, it's going to, I'll find a way to make it as fast as I can.
Yeah.
But yeah, watching these guys and all their data points and watching the engineer Racine go through with each driver and listening, like he caters his style to the driver and listening to their feedback where, he catches them in mistakes that they don't think they make. And then he finds look, it was really cool. Our number one master driver. So master is over a certain age and Radical, Cedric. He was quicker in 2 different sectors on the track than Tag.
Really?
He was able to break a little bit deeper than what Alex was doing, which was a function of a couple of things, but it was still really cool to see because all of a sudden, Cedric's face, he won both of the Masters races on the weekend for our Tag 1 team. And anytime you get to win a GP3R, it is unlike any other race. It's, this weekend we're back with the Honda Indy.
Yes.
So that's big, but it's got no history really per se. This is the first Markham Indy, but it's in Toronto. It's with the big series, so it's going to have a little different cachet. But winning GP3R is it's kind of like winning the Allen Cup. It's the one that not a lot of people think of, but if you can win, senior AAA, you've done something pretty
There's
special.
Some prestige there. Colin Livingston with us from Cantor. And Colin, the process to getting Alex Tagliani and the vehicle into Markham, Toronto, because they switched from exhibition place in that track, is a bit of a daunting task this week. Tell us why, because it was an adventurous weekend for you guys.
This is, we're in a real big stretch. So for our NASCAR team, we're running 5 of the next 6 weekends. So,
you guys are busy.
I'm racking up air miles like a professional hockey player here right now.
They call you Sir when you're on Star Alliance?
Air Canada.
Air Canada,
No,
yeah.
I get the personalized greeting every time I'm on the plane. Love my friends at Air Canada. Can't deny that. But yeah, I mean, we took a hard hit in the NASCAR race. We had a brake failure. The car was great. First of all, our Teej Motorsports team did unbelievable. Don Thompson Jr., our crew chief, made a really, really gutsy call. This weekend was a unique setup that we, normally we practice, we qualify, we race.
Mm-hmm.
This weekend, after qualifying, we did sprint races, similar to what the big US series does with the Daytona duels. So our field got broken into half. Only the front 2 positions from qualifying were locked in. And after qualifying, Alex came back and he said, I can't drive the car the way it is. We've got just too many issues under braking. And we've tried a suspension thing this year that was really neat on paper, but we just haven't really been able to make it work.
Okay.
So after qualifying, made the gutsy call. We're going to go back to what we know. Pulled the car out, pulled it out of line, worked on the car, which meant we had to start the sprint race from the back because we made unapproved modifications. Drove the car up to finish 3rd, which gave us, I think it worked out that we were starting 7th in the main race. Car was quick. We were about to pass Andrew Ranger. We had about a half second a lap on him on average. coming down the back straightaway, and Alex hit the brakes, and there was nothing there.
Jeez,
and this is about 100 miles an hour at that point, I'm guessing. Missed Andrew, went straight into the tire barrier. Kudos to the track for having proper safety. The car's got a lot of damage, but the daunting task is that it went right back to the manufacturer. They've essentially got 3.5 days to basically take the front end of the car off, put a new front end on, get it all dialed in, and hopefully we're ready to go on Friday.
Okay, so this is a new track. This isn't the exhibition place that's I think started in 1986 that they were running there. Why did they move out to Markham, and what kind of challenges does that present for you guys in the NASCAR Canada Series and then for the IndyCar?
So answering the question of why is almost impossible. There's a lot of stuff from the previous Pan Am Games to FIFA. They didn't want they didn't want the construction and all the disruption of what we had with those previous events. I think basically we had kind of run our course. It was a great venue. Like, Exhibition Place was awesome for racing. The convention center was the paddock for IndyCar and the Formula Series. But yeah, what's great about this weekend is it's new for everyone. Like, everyone's seen, there was, as I associate with my spotters up in the spotter stand and our other team guys, I kind of make vague comments, and they're like, yeah, no, we were lucky that Will Power posted his simulation videos. Like, every driver has latched on because Will did, they've got the track kind of digitally created.
Okay.
So everyone's kind of like, we've seen the track map, but now we kind of get to see it from the driver's perspective, and everyone is like studying every corner. Let's assume that our car is back to normal. Without question, this is a track that's going to suit us because Alex is one of the best at picking up on the subtlety instantly. He's not going to go out, try and set track records and try and get to P1 right out of the blocks. He's going to take his time, learn the track, kind of figure out the subtlety, and then when it's time to go, I think he'll get up to speed quicker than most of the other guys.
12-turn track, obviously not an oval, it's a street track as well, so that's going to be interesting. I've lost touch with Indy since we lost the race. I honestly have. I remember got to know Graham Rahal a little bit, and Charlie Kimball. Yeah, really good people in racing, which I love about it. And I remember being in pit lane and listening on the headset and just fascinated by everything. So it's interesting, and we'll see how this race. I'll obviously have to check out what's going on, but you and I have talked F1 quite a bit whenever we get to chat. It's in summer break, which I was telling Fenny, I'm like, they just go away for the summer, do whatever they want. Frivolities in Monte Carlo.
They wouldn't be in Monte Carlo because that's where they mostly live.
I know.
But the F1 teams are, like, I want to say legally, they're mandated to be shut down for at least, I think it's 2 weeks. So they have to stop everything. Like, the social media people can keep going. Some of the upper management can keep going, but engineering, production, everything stops so that everyone gets a proper vacation. I mean, I want to say technically about halfway, because we don't know if Qatar, we don't know if Abu Dhabi, we don't know if they're going to be races added or not. We got 11 done. Depending on how this situation in the Gulf plays out, we might be halfway, we might be over halfway, we might, like, plus or minus a race or two.
Where could they, I know they could end the season in Europe. Where could they go to? Like Silverstone? Could they go back somewhere and do it really quickly?
In theory, yes. The discussion right now is with, holy crap, why am I drawing a blank? Italy.
Monza?
No, Monza's already got the track. The other track,
I'm trying to remember.
I can picture it, and I can't think of it off the top of my head. They're talking about Malaysia. Malaysia's been off the calendar for a long time, many, many years.
Imola.
Yeah.
Imola. There we go. Thank you, Brando.
And then they're talking about Turkey as well. Turkey always seems to be the track that when everything else fails, they can slap a race together. The problem with it is, though, like, it takes so much to put on an event. It's expensive. because they're sanctioning fees that get paid to Formula One. If you don't have proper time to promote and, get bodies in the stands and get the sponsor dollar that you need for the event, it's kind of, no matter what, it ends up haphazard. They get consideration for that, but I think they'd be better off just cutting their losses and saying, okay, this is what we've got. We can't race in the Middle East until this conflict is over, and we'll build the schedule properly starting next year.
Fair.
Where teams get the time to promote and where the promoter actually gets time to promote the event, and then teams can properly plan, because they still look for sponsor engagement. They still look for activations in these towns. So if you don't know until 3 months before you need to be there, it's tough to slap those things together and have them be moderately effective.
It's incredible the amount of just sheer people power that it takes to make these races happen from each team's perspective, and then obviously from the racing body too. So it's pretty fascinating to see where this is going. Kate, when it comes to the actual racing, what do you make of the season so far in F1?
I'm kind of with the traditionalists.
You don't like the 50-50
hate it.
engine? Yeah,
I hate it. It's not racing. It was a gimmick. It was a decision that the series made in an attempt to lower emissions. Sure. I have no issue with lowering emissions whatsoever, but this energy management and random deployment, because the thing I think most people don't understand is that the drivers aren't driving the cars 100% anymore. Forget about the 50-50 split. The ECU is basically got an AI component to it where it is determining when the energy is being deployed to maximize the lap.
Okay.
So, things that people, and these aren't my opinions, I've talked to a number of very highly informed and credible sources that, first race in Australia, Oscar Piastri warming his car up on the outlap, got onto the curbs, the ECU deployed power, he spun, didn't take the start.
I remember that.
Montreal is as an example. A friend of ours is a marshal or a steward. He's a internationally certified FIA steward,
which is cool.
And he's been a friend of ours for a long time. But talking to him about some of the behind the scenes, he's like, things that you see on TV that look like cut and dry penalties are no longer cut and dry, because the driver is able to prove, look, yes, there was an attempt made of a pass, or there was a this, or there was a that. I didn't do it. The car did that on its own.
Yikes.
So there's less and less control. And, it's the same vein as restrictor plate kind of racing. It's becoming more contrived, where less of the operation of the cars in the driver's hands, and it's more about luck than it is about skill. Like I've always said, my favorite thing about racing is when a driver can take a car that's on the edge, drive a little bit deeper, keep it under control, and make a pass without making contact on another driver. These aren't things that we get to see anymore. You can't really throw it up the inside on someone, because you've got to be worried that, well, when I come out of the corner, I'm not going to have the battery to deploy. But it's just.
Is that why Max is thinking about calling it quits and walking away from F1?
It's a big part of it, because he, the experienced drivers, I don't care if it's Lewis, Alonso, Max, the guys who have come through a couple iterations of the cars, they know what it was like when, and this isn't back in my day, when I was your age, we used to do this. This is more about, a racer being able to race. And now they're more like they're ballast in the car than they're actually actively, competing with other cars. Weird. So F1 is all but said, and the FIA is all but said, this hybrid methodology is going to be replaced as soon as possible. Okay. They are going to go back to V8s. They're going to run an environmentally sensitive fuel, biofuel of some configuration, where we're going to get the sound of the engines back, where more of the driving is going to go back to the drivers. They're going to try and cut another 80 kilos out of the car, which is a great move, so that these things are going to become more spry and agile. And we're going to start seeing, not old school racing, but the next generation of how these things are supposed to perform.
Really quickly, because we're almost out of time, but the sweet spot was it 2008 to 2012, the V8s, that they loved the sound of the engines. I remember I see all the memes are like, this is what racing sounds like.
But V8 was great, but the previous generations were V10s and V12s.
Oh, that's
and
right.
they would go to like 22,000 RPM. Like, we got to hear that I think it was the first Edmonton Indy. They had some show cars out and they were 2-seaters, but they still had that engine. And just listening to that scream was like it. I always said I didn't care about the sound of the engines, but now that it's gone and haven't heard it, like it makes such a difference because it just tells you where these cars are at. And now someone described a current F1 grid as a herd of flatulent elephants. And it's always, I can't remember who it was. I'd give you credit. But they're not wrong.
Yeah. Well, every time I see a Formula E race and I listen to those edges, I'm just like, that's not right. That's not what's it's supposed to be.
I'd never say right or wrong. It's just not for me.
Yeah. Fair enough. Hey, time flies when you're having fun. Thanks for coming in today, Colin.
Anytime, man.
Okay,
Love
we're
it.
doing this again. Colin Livingston from Cantork. Good luck in Toronto, or Markham, I should say. You and Tags and the whole team there.
I need all my luck for tomorrow night because I think go-kart we might have a bit of rain. So
okay, let's give you all the positive juju we can get.
I'll take it. I'll give you an update the next time we chat.
Excellent. Colin Livingston, great stuff coming up next here on the Gazzola Show. Ryan Payton, we'll talk a little hockey. Keep those texts coming in. We'll be back right after this.
Recently, our company softball team lost a big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Well, Dale and I are very different. I get early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Thanks, Bet365.
Must be 18 or older. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Standard message and data rates may apply. T's and C's apply.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
Mr. Rooter cries like a little tiny baby child.
Hey, Mr. Rooter, you've got a package from Mrs. Rooter.
Aw, the card says, "Thank you for our unbreakable bond. You're the Pro Press fitting to my copper pipe."
Ooh, what's in the package, Mr. Rooter?
Let's see. It's a Plumbus 2000 spud wrench. She knew I'd never buy one for myself.
Just like tears. It's flowing or it's free with Mr. Rooter.
I love that woman.
Hey, Alberta. You can now get your health number and Canadian citizenship marker on your driver's license and ID card. No more flimsy paper health cards or multiple IDs to juggle. Just one card, that's it. To get yours, bring your Alberta Health Card, proof of Canadian citizenship, or other eligible documentation to the registry to renew your card. Learn more at alberta.ca/onecard. A message from the Government of Alberta.
First pitches, kickoffs, tip-offs. When the game is on, you call the shots. Whether it's a parlay after working all day or a straight bet and straight to bed, Betway has what it takes for you to bet the Edmonton way. So when it's your turn to play the Edmonton way with Betway. Play responsibly. Alberta only. 18 plus.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Standard message and data rates may apply.
The Tom Gazzola Show on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
All right, we're rolling on here on the Tom Gazzola Show. I could talk to Colin Livingston about anything in motorsports forever, and great chat with him. We're going to shift gears back to hockey with Ryan Payton from SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, and we're in the deep part of the summer, but we're only a month away from rookie camp, which, we'll get there when we get there, like Kevin Carey has said earlier on the show. But let's touch base with Ryan. What's up, man? How you doing? Good to hear from you. Thanks for being on my show.
Yeah, you know what? So here's the thing. Full disclosure, I tried to go the whole summer without coming on with you because I was asked, and I thought, you know what? Finally, I think I'll join you. I think I'll get on. No, I'm good, man. I know we haven't been able to connect, but
Yeah.
congrats on this, and certainly I've been wanting to come on, so I'm glad I was able to get on today.
Hey, good. So am I. And we'll make it a regular habit of making
Beautiful.
sure that we're connecting this way. Okay, the off season, Ryan. I mean, a little bit quieter now, but
Yeah.
like, what are we keeping tabs on? Because I know you guys get a little downtime and you get a bit of a respite as well.
Yeah, you know what? It was really busy. It was loud, especially in Toronto, obviously, for the
Yep.
first a month or so and change after the season was done, even before that. But it has quieted down, and I think kind of the way I'm looking at it right now, you look at the free agents still left. I mean, it's not a real it wasn't a real sexy class to begin with, and it's
No.
really not much left anymore, right? So you kind of get to the point now where we're almost the middle of August, and you're thinking, okay, you got training camps coming up, rookie camps coming up, different, guys back on the ice. They've been on the ice for weeks. What are these teams going to do just with the list of the free agents available at the moment? Are we going to get some tryouts at some point? Like, is that the direction that some of these clubs are going to go? And then there's all these other potential names that, are still don't want to play with their team. Dylan Larkin, for example, that's a huge thing that I just think you cannot start that thing in Detroit. You just can't do it. But what's going to happen? Because time is ticking, right, on that situation. So it's really the dog days, right? Like, as you
Yep.
said when I came on, we're really in the deep of it right now. I'm kind of looking at some of these things to hopefully get finalized at some point soon, so you can establish who's going to be at camp and who's going to be this and who's going to be that. But there's so many things to factor, Tommy. I mean, there's the cap, there's the contracts we've seen signed, there's the offer sheets we've seen matched. It's been nuts how the landscape in the league has changed, and it's continuing to change.
Honing in on Detroit,
Yeah.
the process in which that organization has gone about its business recently,
Yeah.
is it not bizarre? Like, now hiring this outside firm to try to triangulate on some GM candidates, the timing of Steve Yzerman, how
Yeah.
much of it has to do with the Dylan Larkin situation? Would Larkin come back to the Red Wings in the right scenario? I know he expanded his list of teams he would go to 4. And
Yeah.
surprise, surprise, it's a lot of his Team USA teammates and buddies that are on those teams that he would go to. Like, I just find that entire situation a bit weird in the hockey world, don't you?
Yeah, I do. And you know what? You kind of got to look at it. I think that there's a massive disconnect, and there has been personally between Yzerman and Larkin, and that was a huge reason why this is now at this point that we're at. If you're a player on the outside looking in at this organization, and you're looking at how this has been handled, it's awful. But I will say this: I understand that this league is a players' league. It has turned into one, and it's turning into a really big one very quickly.
Yep.
Going back to the offer sheets and the contracts and the money, they dictate everything. And I understand too, and you guys certainly were part of this with Darnell Nurse and in his situation when he was in Edmonton. You negotiate your no move clauses. You negotiate those clauses in your contract, and good on you. I mean, you can do whatever you want. It's up to the agents, it's up to the team to say yes or no. But at the same time, I mean, you handcuff the organization. And yeah, thanks, Dylan, to expand the list. Thank you. We appreciate that. Still not 5 yet, but thanks for giving us some options. I just think something's got to change with that. I know you go into a deal, you go into an arrangement, you go into an agreement, and there's certain parts to that agreement that will be beneficial to one party going down the road. And this is a big one, I think, for Dylan. But at the same time, man, like this handcuffs the organization. So I hope it fixes itself. I do. But as of right now, to me, if you look at the discord within the Detroit organization and also on the outside, all the noise and everyone talking, it's not in a positive way.
No, it's a far cry from the organization that was one of the flagships of the league for
Yeah.
30 years, basically.
Yeah.
Ryan Payton joining us from SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, and talking about the dynamic with players and the power and control that they have now, especially at a younger age.
Yeah.
Think of like Cutter Gauthier basically facilitating his way out of Philadelphia. It strikes me as very minor hockey. And now, like guys like you and me, we had to try out for good teams, make those club teams and the AAAs and the AA teams. And now you hear minor hockey and parents have to negotiate their way onto those teams and talking to academies and this and that. And it feels like that has filtered its way up
Yeah.
to the pro ranks. And that also doesn't sit well with me personally, but I find that it's interesting that younger players and their agents can now strong arm GMs and franchises. Do you see it that way too, or do you look at it differently?
No, I do. I absolutely agree with you. And an interesting point too you made about minor hockey and stuff. I have a friend of mine, good friend of mine, whose daughter, a great hockey player, and in and around the Toronto area where I'm at, she played last year in a team, and she was voted MVP. So they ended up moving, and they moved to a different place, different part in and around Toronto. And she was trying out for this team, and she was told she wasn't going to make it, even though statistically and even on the tryout, she was incredible. So I talked to him. I said, what's the deal? And he was ticked off. Obviously, he said, there's so much talk of everybody off the ice, all the parents calling and having relationships with the upper management of these minor teams, and that's how kids get on. And I thought that is just wrong. So to your point again about it started here and it's going up to the NHL level. And I kind of, it bothers me only because at the end of the day, you have the owners cutting the paychecks. You have GMs supposed to do their jobs. You have head coaches supposed to do their jobs. And also, too, if you look at the coaches in the league, it's a players' league. And I look at Montreal, and this has turned out really well for them. Martin St. Louis, there's so many times last year that the camera looks at him on the bench and he is listening to his guys on the ice. He's not telling them what to do. He is the iPad and he's being, okay, you guys tell me what you want to do. So that again is kind of like, well, we're good. We're young. We are the league now. We're the future of the league. We're going to dictate every single move that you have. So yeah, are they kind of bullying the GMs? Are they bullying the owners? Maybe. But at the same time, Tommy, you look at what these young guys bring in. They sell tickets. The Celebrinis, the Carlsons, the Schaefers, the Bedard, all these young guys, they are the future of the league. So, but it's changed. Am I a big fan of it? No, I'm in agreement with you. I'm not a huge fan of it.
Yeah, it's a weird dynamic. And I'm glad we can be the old guys complaining about it.
Yeah,
maybe that's who we are now. I don't know, but it just seems weird and not the way it's supposed to be, but you got to adapt and evolve. And we're starting to see that obviously throughout the league. Okay. We talk about the Red Wings a little bit, Ryan, but in your backyard in Toronto, the John Chayka thing obviously started very interestingly with Steve Simmons, and then winning the draft lottery, getting Gavin McKenna. Like, where are Leafs fans at with this franchise right now? Because I still look at John Chayka and Matt Sundin, whatever his role is, and look at that team and go, I don't know. Like, they got a little bit of good juju there with the McKenna thing.
Yeah.
But what have you observed of this new regime?
I think what fans need to do in Toronto is that they have to just kind of pump the brakes a bit and understand that, to get a few more wins this year than they did last year, that's step one. It was a disaster. And to your point about that whole introductory press conference with Chayka and Sundin and Simmons with the question, and I mean, it was awful. And then the next night, you had that number 12 ball come up to the top, and then boom, everything changed. It was just in a matter of days. You went from what is going on to, oh, okay, well, this is pretty good going forward. Just a quick side note on McKenna. I was at the draft in Buffalo. I had a chance to meet the guy, and it doesn't matter what of the 32 teams drafted him. I just think he's built so well. He's built so strong. And I know the league's different. The NHL's a different. I get it, but he's just made a really good stuff, and I think he's going to fit really well. Of course, the pressure in Toronto, whatever, but he's just going to be a star. Anyway, with that being said, the Leafs, I think, are a better team. The fan base is looking at them and thinking they are a better team. On a side note in all this, I think the best thing that happened last season to Toronto was Austin Matthews getting hurt. I don't condone anybody getting hurt. I don't. But the pressure, you could see it on his face. I mean, it was a disaster last season in Toronto, off the ice and on the ice. But when he got hurt, I thought, okay, hopefully the recovery is going to be fine. And from what I gather, it's good. And he looks really good. He's lost some weight. He looks leaner. He's got the shot back. We'll see what happens, of course, over the season. But he was done. He was absolutely finished. And then the mindset at the end of the year was, well, I don't want to come back. Why am I going to come back to this team? And then with drafting McKenna, then things changed a bit. And, so to me, it was just almost a blessing in disguise here that going into your final couple of years of this contract, right? This is the last two at least you have for the time being with Matthews. This is go time for this team. So I like the additions. I think they did have to make a change behind the bench, but this falls on the players, Tom. It falls on every single member of that team. Don't give up. If you lose a game, figure it out. If you go on a 5-game losing skid, which hasn't happened in years, it did last, figure it out. Stop whining, stop complaining. Don't look like you couldn't care less, because there's so many other people that want to be playing in the NHL, let alone Toronto. So it's going to be interesting. We'll see. But certainly I think they've improved, at least off the ice, from what they were last year.
Okay, last one for you, Ryan, and your co-host on the Hot Stove, and our good friend Dave Pagnotta has been talking about expansion forever, and we saw Alan Walsh and some other people pointing some details, and we'll see which of those tidbits of information that were passed along on social media come to fruition. But Pags has been talking about a 36-team league and phased in, 2 new teams phased in subsequent years. Atlanta, I know, is right up there.
Yep.
Houston's in the mix. Now Austin's being tossed around. They want to get Arizona back into this. And they're talking about the price tag for these teams. And we're, with arena included, $3.5 billion, $2 for the expansion fee. Like, what do you make of the way this is evolving? Not that we didn't know that this was coming.
Yeah, Dave's been. I was trying to go all summer too without mentioning his name, but of course you brought it up, so we got.
I apologize.
No. I have enough of him for 9 months. I do.
I know. It's a lot.
It is. I'm just kidding. I love the guy. We know that.
Same, yeah.
I remember you mentioned the price tag, and I believe I'm correct in this. I could be off by a little bit, but I think when Columbus came in and when Minnesota came in, I think the price tag was like 80 million or something like that. And I know times changed, and I know when Vegas came in, and when Seattle came in, the price tag was wow, and now it's crazy. Dave's actually been, like, we've been talking. He's been talking about this for months and months and months, maybe years. Like this league at some point in a few is going to be the 36, and this just continued to get going. I mean, here's my thing, 2 sides. Number one is good on you. The NHL's in a great spot. Revenue is through the roof. The cap is rising. The game is the best it's ever been, and it's going to continue to be that way. It's going to get even better if that's possible. So expand, do it. The fan bases, for the most part, are great in the U.S. They're great in Canada. Even if you're losing, hockey is a thing in North America.
Yep.
Why not throw something into Canada? Why not try to think about doing that? I mean, I'm old school, maybe like you as well. Just this getting it back to some of the roots of the Canadian hockey and doing that. I know there's been some talk years ago about maybe Quebec, and but that's certainly not going to happen. There was recent talk a few years back about down the road, near Toronto, between Buffalo and Toronto, whatever. But I think it's good, Tom. I do, because if the league, you're in a great spot, and I do not see the league taking their foot off the gas with anything right now. So the more the better for me. I love the competitiveness. It gives more guys chances to play, gives guys chances to really create something in a specific city. And I'd be surprised if it doesn't keep expanding after the next wave, whenever that hits.
Hey, fascinating times in the NHL, prosperous times in the NHL. And this was a lot of fun to do. So we're doing this again soon. Okay, Ryan?
Thanks, Tommy. Appreciate it.
All right, good stuff there, Ryan Payton, SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. Always fantastic. Check him out over there. And yes, he works with Dave and Dennis Bernstein over on the Hot Stove on Saturdays. Awesome show. Always very, very happy when I get a chance to go on with the boys. Hello Hockey gets in the way of that and has the last couple of years, but I think we're going to announce season 5 right away here in a bit of a shift in time. So maybe I'm able to hop on with the boys at some point. Indeed. All right, we're going to step out for a quick breather. When we come back, in or out with Brando right here on the Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. And don't forget about our employee pricing. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Why tee off at the Ranch Golf and Country Club?
A fun, unique layout offering premier conditions. The Ranch has been ranked as one of the top public courses in Canada.
Unmatched value. Score Golf Magazine rated the Ranch as the best value in Edmonton.
The service, from tournaments to special events to the pro shop. Superior service that makes every visit exceptional.
The Ranch Golf and Country Club, a laid-back environment where anyone can enjoy an amazing day on the fairways. For details, visit theranchgolf.com.
What's 426 divided by 12? Okay, if I carry the one, yeah, we're out. Go Auto has a free credit calculator that does the math for you. See what you could qualify for, estimate your payments, and get a better idea of what's in your budget. Because shopping for a vehicle is exciting, but crunching numbers, yeah, not so much. Text check to 780-777-7777. That's check to 780 all sevens.
Come on down to the Brick. The Price is Right live event is on now. Enter in-store for your chance to instantly win from over $1 million in prizes. No purchase necessary. Then shop incredible savings throughout the store, like up to $2,220 off select sectionals, up to 40% off select mattresses, up to 20% off select major appliances, and up to $600 off big screen TVs. Plus, finance with 0% interest and equal monthly payments on qualifying purchases. Hurry in before these offers end August 12th. The Brick, saving you more.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Edmonton sports fans stay informed with Sports 1440. Stream us. Listen to us on the AM dial. However you consume this radio station, thanks for listening.
Recently, our company softball team lost the big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Well, Dale and I are very different. I get early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Thanks, Bet365.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply.
The Tom Gazzola Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we're here to stay.
And 47, little queen there for you. Deep pull from Brandon Douglas. Love it. Good morning. Hope you're doing well out there. It's the Tom Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365. Text us 1-833-401-1440. Brando and Fenny in studio. O'Connor's here. Did they leave you at the door? Unbelievable. Kept ringing the doorbell. And finally, Fenny went and got him. All right, we got to go in or out. Brought to you by Harley-Davidson of Edmonton. Their annual garage sale and swap meet is Saturday, August 15th. Catch the Twin West Crew stunt team performing 2 great shows and score huge deals on parts, gear, and clothing. Find more at hdedmonton.com. Let's go.
Okay, you know what? Moving too fast. Bottom line, are you in or you out?
In or out of what?
No time for questions, just action. In or out?
Well, then I'm out.
I'm sorry, Jet. Actually, you're already in.
Are you in or are you out?
On Sports 1440.
I thought you would go, I'm in, Bob. We would have had a really cool moment, but you kind of ruined the whole thing.
Last night from downtown Toronto, Blue Jays win their third of the past 4-2-1 over Boston to open up this 4-game set against the Red Sox. Weird sequence.
Yeah.
In the 7th involving Rule 5.09 C4. You got that, Tom?
Subsection C?
Yeah, double subsection 4. Make sure to bookmark that because we're going to be referring to it very frequently, as we have so many other times in baseball. No, it did allow the Sox's only run in the game, though. If you did miss it, it was a matter of confusion about how many outs there were and a run scoring, despite the fact there was no tag up at third base. And essentially the rule reads that the reason the run was allowed to score is because the Blue Jays didn't appeal it, even though the run never should have been eligible to score in the first place.
Yeah.
Which we got a text in earlier from, I think it was RP,
RP.
right? He says, oh, you guys are just dumb. Why can you not understand this?
Did he say that?
I could read through the condescension through his tone, because we're saying this is crazy. This is it's not tough to understand at all. Well, you agree to disagree, because how does the run score when it should never have been allowed to leave third base?
Yeah.
That's my contention with it. But the rule says, oh, they didn't appeal it before they left the field, and as a result, the run's allowed to count. This, to me, Tom, I'm like, the rule is the rule written in the book. How does it get to that point? Common sense needed to prevail here. There's how many umpires on the field?
4.
And a run that did not tag up with 1 out crosses the plate. Oh, it was before the third out was recorded, so it counts. That's not how it works.
I wouldn't think so. I do not, unlike Max Scherzer, recall a scenario like this playing out where what they say was a time play as well. They had
so the umpire gives his explanation. I understand everything. They go to New York to get the official ruling, but the ruling this is essentially boils down to more of like a legal matter than a sport matter, because it's all just like the precedent essentially be, wow, you're off the field before you appealed it. If you'd appealed it before it, that means that the appealed out at third base would have superseded the appealed out at first base.
Right.
But once again, how does it matter? You can't take off when there's only 1 out.
It's so convoluted that, yes, I prefer simplicity, especially when it comes to sports and rules and how they're applied, that it should have been a non-factor, and simply put, there should have been no run. But, there are those like RP who understand the minutia of the rule book and its subsets. And I'm sure there's many out there like him.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it's just like, why are we even getting to that point? That's so dumb.
And in a world where we have, and there's so much talk about replays and we want to speed the game up, and I'm here for all that. This did not speed the game up at all. In fact, it did the complete opposite.
Yes.
And getting the call right, okay, well, that didn't happen either. So when we look back, and just once again, always using hockey as a reference point, because I think that's where a lot of us feel most comfortable. The Matt Duchene offside goal, right? He's 9 feet offside.
Ridiculous.
There's nothing in place to overrule it. But you say like, okay, well, common sense tells us that is something that should be reviewable. What do we get? Reviews put in place. Now it's gone way too far, and we're looking at it from 8 different angles, and the width of a skate blade. Is the puck in the air? Is he controlling it? Is he not controlling it? Where is the common sense? There needs to be a written rule, like at the end of every league's rule book, where common sense supersedes every previously written rule inside these pages.
Well, there used to be in rule books, listen, I'm dipping into my vague memory of old rule books where they would have lines of at the discretion of the umpire, at the discretion of the official, at the discretion of the referee. And then that would cause problems because now we're putting it into their hands and it became ambiguous. It's like you can't win. And it's incredible. Like this rule here and the ultimate ruling, it was so wrong. It ended up being right. That's what it feels like.
What's crazy.
Yeah.
And the Jays win the game by a run. Like it was tight. It came down to it. And John Schneider, his final quote was basically like, well, I'm glad we didn't lose the game by a run, because we could be having a completely different conversation here.
Yeah.
And I saw a tweet. I wish it might have been from Ben Nicholson-Smith or one of our friends that on the beat for the Jays that essentially said, like, I think this game might end up, this is the middle of while they're still discussing it, might end up getting played under protest, but I'm not sure from who. Like,
that's messed up.
Depending how the final ruling went, either team could essentially be like, all right, this game's under protest, which we don't get to see very often. So that would have been kind of fun, I think.
Well, and then the league would have to untangle its own mess, say that happened.
Exactly. So anyway, the Jays win. It proves a non-factor in that regard, which is good because this is a team that obviously needs every victory they can get. And it's not going to get any easier. Despite being 6-4 in their last 10, just 3.5 games back of a wild card spot. Next 12 games, 3 more against Boston, 3 against the Yankees, 3 against Tampa, 3 more against the Yankees, who, by the way, are the 3 best teams in the American League. The Jays, bleak, fleeting. Some might already have them dead and buried playoff hopes, can remain alive with 8 wins in these next 12 games against AL East opponents.
Okay, if you pull off 8 of your next 12 and get those W's, but how realistic is it? Probably unlikely. I know
that's only a slight improvement on their record of the last 10.
And they would have to get some luck from some of those teams dropping games, not only to the Jays, but in other series.
Elsewhere around the rest of the league, for sure.
Yeah, and we're running out of time.
I'm not saying by the end of these 12 games they need to be in a playoff spot, but if they can, like if this is 8 of 12, what we talked about earlier, Tom, a hot enough streak to get yourself over that first hurdle of remaining in the race, and then you've still got a month plus of the season left to cross that final threshold of getting actually into a wild card spot.
Yes, for them being still in the mix. But again, there's also a bunch of teams that are right there with them, and a lot has to go right for the Jays to even haul their asses into a spot where they're close enough to be in striking distance.
It's very true.
And they've been in this ambiguous kind of sort of there, but not really scenario pretty much all season. And every time they kind of get hot, quote unquote, they end up faltering anyway. It's just, and there's been so much negativity around this Blue Jays season in general.
Yes.
That like this would be the unlikeliest of scenarios if they could pull off this feat.
Tom, just I need you to stick with me because I want those 3 games that I'm going to at the end of this month to not be complete purposeless events.
For you, I hope they go 10 of 12.
And I want to extend that to all the listeners that are Jays fans or neutral parties in the baseball game. For my sake, please keep cheering for them and have faith because I'm hoping for something of consequence to still be on the table when they take on the Royals and Mariners at the end of the month. Also, shout out my buddy John Gilly from up by Westlock. Apparently, as of 2019, you can no longer play a game under protest.
Oh, okay.
That's too bad. Take away a fun element for us. Over to the NFL. Our previews stopped earlier on this morning in Chicago with Zach Pearson talking Bears inside what's going to be another year of very competitive NFC North football. Colson Loveland, second-year tight end out of Michigan, raised a lot of eyebrows when they took him over Tyler Warren last year in the draft. I like this player a lot. And I think Ben Johnson, the head coach and play caller offensively, likes him a lot too. I am envisioning him as a top 3 fantasy football tight end in the 2026 season.
Hey, he's no Trey McBride.
Very few are.
I know. But I'll go in if Caleb Williams is dishing the ball to him, counting on him, and they have a lot of packages that focus on him getting the ball, then yes, maybe that confidence he's built up continues, and he's a game changer in your fantasy week to week.
So this is just via Fantasy Pros, Tom. You'd mentioned Trey McBride. So last season, at the tight end position, in a PPR format, he finished 105 points ahead of the second place tight end, which was Kyle Pitts. Shout out Kyle Pitts, continuing to lure people into drafting him. And he had a great season, just about 1,000 yards, but still just 5 touchdowns. McBride with 11 last year to tie atop the lead from the tight end spot. So I like Loveland a lot. I think McBride will still be up there. My big wild card in this is his fellow second-year tight end in Tyler Warren and what Indianapolis does, because with the departure of Michael Pittman, is Tyler Warren now their number 1 target as a pass catcher in that offense? I think it's very possible.
That could change things.
And then, you still got Brock Bowers and changing of or expected improved quarterback play in Vegas for a guy that's still gotten it done with very bad quarterback play. There's a pretty good chunk of good tight ends, but I think Trey McBride still stands pretty clearly alone at the top of that table. I've got very high hopes for Colson Loveland in the Windy City this year.
I am not the biggest fantasy sports guy, but
so you're telling me you're not putting a team in for the Frenzies Fantasy Football League?
That is correct. I don't. For you guys, I would do it, but how well I manage and maintain that team, it's going to be dicey.
That might need to be a topic you broach with Carius at some point this week. upcoming fantasy football.
Is
but
he into
also,
that?
oh, he's a huge fantasy. He went
Nerd
over a
alert.
couple seasons ago.
Oh, wow.
Winless in the whole year. It's tough, like impossible to do if you tried.
That's amazing.
But he succeeded. And but he's even more into fantasy baseball, which this season he is
painful.
Not having a ton of success inside the Frenzy League.
You have to maintain and manage that team like multiple times daily. I did it one year, finished third. It was too much.
Our league, we try to make it, you set your lineup for the week. So you don't have to adjust now, but if you want to be good, you usually need to be on the waiver wire and manipulating things that way on a near day-to-day basis.
Who's questionable? Who's making their starts?
But still to set your lineup once a week, and Kevin not having a super strong season.
That's too bad.
Granted, neither is Team Frenzy. So no shade throwing, at least in that regard.
Okay.
We'll make our another pit stop on our NHL offseason Mount Rushmore series, going over to the Atlantic Division, riddled with some historic teams and some tough lists to chisel it down, including the original 6 Detroit Red Wings. So many good options here, Tom.
Yeah.
But I do think that the 4 names here are tough to replace. If you're trying to put one name on in place of these guys, it's Mr. Hockey, Gordie Howe. It's Steve Yzerman. It's arguably the best defenseman to ever play the game, Nick Lidstrom. And it's Terry Sawchuk, 5-time Stanley Cup winner. Tell me I'm wrong.
I can tell you I'm out, but the only guy I would look at on this list and go out reluctantly would be Terry Sawchuk. Do we have to have goalies on every?
No. There's no positional or hey, if we rewind to when we started this with Laddie and we're talking Oilers, he put a coach on there. He put slats on it. So
yeah, and
I think now if we're including your entire tenure with the team outside his playing, does Yzerman's status get hurt after his tenure as GM?
You'd have to separate it. It's kind of like Kevin Lowe.
Probably not, because he was such a good player that he could have been the world's worst general manager, which I'm sure some Red Wings fans might think he was.
Yeah.
And he's still not coming off this list.
No, I'd keep him on there. Listen, there's been so many Hall of Famers. Like the one guy that I think is obvious that maybe deserves more consideration than Terry Sawchuk would be Ted Lindsay and his contributions to the game.
Yeah.
Not only was he a great player, but obviously getting the first iteration of the PA done. It cost him his job in Detroit. He got booted to Chicago, which was a hockey wasteland at the time. And Alex Delvecchio, I think, is another guy you can mention.
Yeah, Delvecchio, third all-time in points, 1,550 games.
Yeah.
That's behind only Howe with the organization. So very strong contenders. There's no doubt.
Zetterberg, I know those guys. Datsuk won 2 cups.
I think Datsuk was, he was a really young player, almost like in the early 2000 teams.
Yeah.
And then, of course, both guys won in 08. But and then
what about Fedorov?
I love Fedorov.
Right?
It's funny to say about a guy that's in the Hall of Fame and all that stuff, but I still somehow think he's underrated in like the eons of NHL and hockey history. His coaches that he played for said if he wanted to, he could have won a Norris Trophy,
which is insane.
Because he played defense at times for the Red Wings.
Yeah,
and he's also obviously a premier scorer, 954 points in 908 games with the Wings. Great option too, but I think Sawchuk with the 5 cups, like that kind of takes a little bit of prominence over Delvecchio's longevity. And listen, he won a ton too.
Yeah. Now, the other 3 guys outside of Sawchuk all played with one team, and that was Detroit.
That's true.
Well, sorry, Gordie Howe ended up in Hartford.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, never mind.
But Lidstrom and Yzerman, lifers. Howe's mostly a lifer. Because did Howe play for the Whalers when they were in the NHL or just in the WHA?
Just the 1 year, 1979-80, when the Whalers with the Oilers and the Nordiques and the Jets merged into the NHL. And actually, you know who else ended up on that team? Bobby Hull.
Legend.
Briefly. Yeah, so... Yeah.
So if you're taking Sawchuk off, who are you putting on? Is it Lindsay?
I think Ted Lindsay.
Because I think your point about his setup of the PA is one that is incredibly well taken and is a very strong argument for his inclusion.
When you have an award given out to the best player as voted by his peers in the league,
named after you.
Named after you. That's, I think, pretty telling.
Pretty
Anyway,
solid.
this would be so hard. And I really don't have much of an argument against Terry Sawchuk. I know he bounced around and played with other teams, but these are all legends of the game.
No doubt. No doubt. I think we're going to run into similar problems with our other stops on original 6 teams because when you're around that long, man, you put together a pretty good alumni list, no doubt. Finally, Chris Hemsworth, the Aussie, turning 43 years old today. I was actually a little surprised. I thought he was older than that because he's been around the MCU for already so long.
Wow, yeah.
Where I think he's probably most prominently known in his acting career for his portrayal of Son of Odin, Thor, God of Thunder. Power ranking, the Avengers, Tom Gazzola. Thor is number 2.
Out.
What?
And not really any valid reason. I just personal preference. Captain America is probably my favorite Avenger.
I agree. I think he's number 1.
Yeah. I have lots of respect for Iron Man, but in Infinity War and Endgame, he got whiny.
He's a very flawed character.
Which that's part of his greatness.
That's what makes him very intriguing to watch.
Yeah.
And in the films. But if we're just talking overall,
I'm biased towards Spider-Man as well. I know he's the kid on the block, but
he barely even counts as an Avenger.
He's an Avenger.
He was in
What
space.
is that, a band?
He was, all time. I rewatched that obviously before last week when we all went and saw the new one separately though. And I still laugh at that out loud every time. It's like, that's awesome. What is that?
Are you in a band?
Is that a band?
Yeah. It's great. Oh, yeah, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were great in No Way Home. Spider-Man's right up there for me. But Thor and his legacy in the MCU is growing profoundly. Like, he's kind of the leader, especially if you watch the Doomsday trailer. It's like,
yeah, that's been one of the popular memes is like Thor looking around at his new cast of Avengers. He's like, man, this sucks.
Yeah, these guys suck.
These guys ain't it.
Yeah. So maybe Thor would be number 3. I have a lot of respect for Thor, but
he's worthy.
He's worthy, but Captain America is number 1 to me, and I love Spider-Man, so I'd have him up there. I'm trying to think of like who else would pass Thor for number 3, but he's great.
Black Widow.
Black Widow is good, but now there's a new Black Widow.
I love Florence Pugh. She ain't Scarlett Johansson.
She's no ScarJo, baby.
Scarlett Johansson, probably my number 1 all time.
ScarJo?
Yeah.
That is a wonderful woman.
Yes.
Colin Jost is a lucky man.
Yeah.
This is great. I enjoyed that.
Now, I will say this. Fun to be able... If I had this same question with Kevin Carey as the host, it would be a 0 burger discussion.
Really?
He has no clue.
Oh, come on, KK.
He hasn't seen a new movie since 1996.
Tell me about The Lion King.
What year did Shawshank come out?
94?
That might be the last year then.
That's it, hey? Just after that, no more videos,
possible.
No more movies.
Yeah, once VHS will stop being produced.
He didn't want it. He wanted none of it. No, I like it. And yeah, I mean, we could get into the Avengers thing, but I maybe put Thor 3rd. Nothing against him. Just
that's pretty close.
I like Captain America and I like Spider-Man. I'm biased towards them. I put them ahead of Thor. Thor's right up. Hulk's badass, obviously.
Too much of a wild card.
Yeah, and he's in and out, right? Like now, no spoilers, obviously, but how does he end up in the next couple of Avenger movies? I'm sure he will, and they'll write that in. But Bruce Banner might be one of my favorites, though, played by Mark Ruffalo.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he hulks out, it's pretty badass. What was it like? What did they call him? Nerd whore or nerd? Nerd Hulk.
Oh, so we're back to high school nicknames. I see you found mine. I see you found mine.
That was me combining Thor and Hulk, doing it for the worst.
No, it was Smart Hulk.
Smart Hulk. I didn't like Smart Hulk.
Dr. Hulk.
Dr. Hulk.
He had a Professor Hulk. Got it.
Not nerd.
Got there at the same time.
Okay, we got to take a break. That was In or Out. Brought to you by Harley Davidson of Edmonton. Sports update with Brando. Brought to you by not Bet365, Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly at 780-265-0165. I need a break. Here's Brando.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Full set of games across the major leagues of baseball today, including the Blue Jays continuing their set against the Red Sox from downtown Toronto. Jose Soriano set to take the hill for the Bluebirds, and Adley Rutschman expected to make his Red Sox debut behind the plate after being acquired at the trade deadline. First pitch just after 5. Catch that game right here on Sports 1440. Join in progress at the conclusion of the Jason Greger Show. Some matinee affairs, including the Orioles in Minnesota. Phillies up against the Cardinals. Rays playing the Athletics, and the Rockies take on the D-backs from the desert. Later on into the afternoon, Yankees host the Mariners. Cubbies are in Washington. And in the nightcap games, Dodgers, Royals, Rangers up against the LA Angels of Anaheim. Coming up in hour 4 of the Tom Gazzola Show, we'll be joined by Connor Halley from The Frenzy. I'm Brendan Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, the Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Do you know why people love working at GS Construction? It's honest work. It's work that needs to be done. And we're really good at what we do. That's why GS Construction has been in business for over 50 years. We won't be wearing a top hat and tails, more like hard hat and boots, because we're heading underground to keep the water flowing in and out of your homes and businesses in Edmonton. GS Construction is currently looking for experienced pipe layers and top men. Visit gsconstruction.ca/careers today.
Sleep is for the off-season. What off-season? Sports 1440 is live, loud, and locked 24/7. Oilers, Elks, Riverhawks, Stingers, Oil Kings. We've got your fix. Edmonton's home for sports is Sports 1440.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Feeling overwhelmed by debt? Concerned about what the next few weeks or months will bring for your finances? My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. You don't have to navigate this alone. Together, we can review your options and build a personalized plan to reduce your payments and get you out of debt so you can breathe again. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to book your free consultation and discover your debt-free future.
Ford employee pricing is on now, and you pay what we pay on virtually our entire lineup of Ford vehicles. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
Caesars is Alberta's anytime, anywhere sportsbook. Stay in the action with your favorite teams and players. Whether you're camping, kayaking, or catching a show this summer, bet wherever you are, whenever you want. Plus, Caesars Sportsbook offers fast payouts and flex parlays, a new way to keep your bet alive even if a pick misses. Download the Caesars Sportsbook app today.
Must be 18 or older and physically present in Alberta to gamble. Must be 21 or older to use Caesars Sportsbook. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Standard message and data rates may apply. Please play responsibly.
Just a young guy with the quick.
The Tom Gazzola Show on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
Final hour of the Tom Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365. Canada just hit the biggest home run of the summer. Bet365, available in Alberta, here to stay. Download the app. Must be 18 plus. Please play responsibly. I hope we don't get any complaints when I combine Thor and Hulk into a word that's not nice. I apologize. Just want to get that out there.
Been nice knowing you, Tom. Been good working with you. Happy
nice
trails in whatever your next endeavor is, because that doesn't fly on this station. Everything's always above board.
Yeah.
You're purely professional, and you crossed that line.
Yeah, I certainly did. Apologize. Whoopsies. A lot of text came in regard to the Avengers. Bonaccord Greg says, I watched the third Venom movie last night. They really dropped the ball on all of the Venom movies. Could have been so much better. And I know there was supposed to be like potential tie-in to Spider-Man.
Well, that was the post-credit scene.
Why did they have that?
No Way Home, right?
Yeah.
They just totally did that just to blue ball us, I guess. I don't know.
Pretty much, for a lack of a better term. Steve from Drumheller chiming in says, what? Captain America is the worst. Boring. Spidey is the best. But those are my two favorites.
He's God's righteous man.
Maybe the original Captain America and like the backstory and how he was worthy of the serum, the super soldier serum. And
shout out Stanley Tucci.
Yeah, he was great in that movie. Maybe I became enamored with him and Peggy Carter and that whole story. And then in Endgame with how he ends up having a life with her, I thought was wonderful. But now he's back.
Which I don't love.
I'm curious to see how they handle it. And you're an MCU guy, right, Fenny? They're saying that he might be Hydra Steve Rogers.
Oh, God, let's
Captain Hydra.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Which is a whole thing. Like that can of worms could be open because he said Hail Hydra in the elevator in Endgame.
Yeah, but that was to outsmart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now they could think that the actual Captain America in that timeline or whatever is part of the cause. And so maybe that's what it is. Honestly, I don't care.
I don't know. But like, he's still worthy of Mjolnir.
Yeah, so he can't be Captain Hydra.
Right.
He can't be a Nazi. It's that simple.
Yeah, exactly. And then Montana to Rice says Florence Pugh is hotter. Get real. In regard to Black Widow and Scarlett Johansson. They're both very beautiful women.
I would agree.
I'm not complaining about either one. Going back to the Mount Rushmore of Red Wings, Brian says Detroit, Frank Mahovlich. Okay. Husk says Hulk all day in regard to Avengers. And then James, going back to playing under protest, going back to in or out, says, I play most of my golf matches under protest. Just saying. I'll give that some love. Well played, James. Well played. And then, we're smattering of text before we get to Connor Halley. Look at this. Eden, father of Arius. Or Eden, pardon me. Tom, you need to do the fans a favor. Make your show 7 to 11 or 7 to 10 a.m. Connor and Brandon need 2 hours for the frenzy. Eden, father of Arius. I'm not in control of this. Noted.
Tom, how would you like to work less?
Happily. I think 4 hours a day is pretty damn good, to be honest with you.
I think so, too.
Yeah. Thank you, Eden, for that recommendation.
Get off the air.
Shut up, Tom. 3 hours is enough. L. Nate says, I feel there's not enough excitement for the Canadian Open next weekend, especially with Nelly, basically the female tiger in the field. Nelly Corda. She is automatic. Do you ever watch her swing?
Yeah.
Never changes. No head movement.
Yeah, I'm going. I got my email to confirm my media pass, so I'm looking forward to being down there quite a few days next week for the beginning of it, where they're gonna be playing some practice rounds and stuff, and then hopefully into the weekend. I do have some weekend obligations with a wedding here in the city, but depending on my state on Sunday, there might not be a better remedy than heading down to the Mayfair,
walking the course,
and checking things out.
Man, I'll tell you what. Having been to, did I do both of the ones that were here already? I certainly did the first one in 2007. That was awesome. And then it came back in what? Was it 2014? No. But it is a great event. And those ladies are tremendous golfers. And it's going to be awesome. Hopefully the weather plays nice. Mayfair is going to be in great shape. It always is. And you're going to see some fabulous golf.
You a regular down there at the Mayfair, Tom?
I am not. I don't know if I'm ever welcome again at the Mayfair. I'm just kidding.
You're not like curious. You're not playing a new private track every week. Now,
Well,
granted,
he only
Kevin's
tours the
retired,
private.
so
Yeah.
he's got all this much more time on his hands.
If it's not private or semi-private, KK doesn't play it.
Right.
That's my understanding. No, I've been fortunate to play Mayfair a few times. It's really nice. Country Club's also really nice. Obviously, Glendale's fantastic. Blackhawk is great. Belvedere, I enjoy. Like, there's really nice private courses, but there's also excellent public courses in and around our city.
And for that, I'm grateful.
Me too.
I'm a public course kind of guy.
Yeah. In regard to El Nate saying he doesn't feel there's enough excitement for the Canadian Open next week, hopefully that changes. I mean, you see the signage all over the city. It's everywhere, like the banners, the ads, digital boards. Hopefully great turnout, great week of golf, and let's see if Brooke Henderson can repeat as champion. But you're right, Nelly Corda's tremendous. And I'm a TaylorMade guy, and Nelly Corda plays TaylorMade. So, and I follow them on Instagram, and like every time they show her swing or like they build her clubs for her, I watch, and I get frustrated and annoyed because of how consistent she is with her ball striking. She's automatic. It never changes. Great swing, great player.
You're envious.
Great event. I am.
How couldn't you be?
Probably made a ton of money last year on the tour. Just a tremendous athlete. And her and the rest of the tour will be here in our fair city next week. All right, we got to step out. When we come back, it's going to be Connor Halley from The Frenzy and the Jason Greger Show on the Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365.
Why tee off at the Ranch Golf and Country Club?
A fun, unique layout offering premier conditions. The Ranch has been ranked as one of the top public courses in Canada.
Unmatched value. Score Golf Magazine rated the Ranch as the best value in Edmonton.
The service, from tournaments to special events to the pro shop. Superior service that makes every visit exceptional.
The Ranch Golf and Country Club, a laid-back environment where anyone can enjoy an amazing day on the fairways. For details, visit theranchgolf.com.
It's dollar drink summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees at participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Early mornings just got louder. For the hottest takes and the sports stories that actually matter to Edmonton, you need Tom Gazzola. Weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440 at 833-401-1440.
The second half is yours. Lock in your seat with our new 5-game season pass and get a $25 voucher. Half season, full energy. Get your season pass at goelks.com. Edmonton Elks, our city, our year.
Alberta, this one's for you. Around here, trust takes a few winters. It's why players have known Jackpot City since 1998. Home to hundreds of exciting casino games, live dealer action, and new adventures waiting to be discovered. Jackpot City, nothing beats the original. Please play responsibly, 18 years or older, Alberta only.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca.
Hi, Edmonton. If the Subaru Outback is on your wish list, now's the time to act. With only limited inventory available, these award-winning SUVs won't be here for long. The Outback has earned an IIHS top safety pick or higher for 17 consecutive years, combining legendary Subaru capability, confidence in every season, and the versatility to take you almost anywhere. Reserve yours today before they're gone. Visit your local Subaru dealership today. Welcome to Uncommon.
The Tom Gazzola Show. All All gas, no brakes. Edmonton's sports leader. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
We roll on. Tuesday edition of the Tom Gazzola Show, presented by Bet365. Tom, Connor Halley, Brandon Douglas, Connor Spivak, and Josh Fenwick in studio with you. Full house. Did I say your last name right, Connor? Oh, whatever. Connor the Lesser, as the boys say. I'm sorry. Spivak? Oh, we're splitting hairs here as we welcome in Thomas Connor Halley.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning, sir.
I didn't like Connor the Lesser at first, but I've been watching like Night of the Seven Kingdoms and I'm back into House of the Dragon, and all of a sudden it seems more fitting. So
Okay.
I kind of like it now.
Is he offended? Are you offended by Connor the Lesser or me missaying your name? You don't care? Okay. Good.
Well, yeah.
This kid's got a great attitude.
Yeah, exactly. You just take it in stride.
He's
Maybe
gonna
we're
be
just
all
talking about like body mass, and he's just smaller than me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taller.
Younger, though.
Younger, yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Lesser
happens.
in age.
Yeah. He'll be just fine.
I think so.
So you just got into House of the Dragon?
So I watched it.
Yeah.
And then there was circumstances. I kind of fell out of favor with it.
Okay.
Tried to watch the second season. Found it kind of slow. Stopped watching.
Yeah.
And then we got a new TV, and it's a smart TV, which we didn't have in our like living room, which was crazy. And then I powered through what is it? Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yep.
And then I was like, I kind of want to get back into House of the Dragon. And Duke said it was an awesome season 3. So I'm back in.
You're hooked.
Are you a fan?
I refuse to touch anything Game of Thrones after the ending of the original series. Refuse.
How come? What did you think? Like you thought she wasn't going to go mad or what?
My loss. Perhaps my loss. I just don't want to put up with. To me, I got into it. I was very into it. It ended. Maybe some people didn't like the ending. I know they're quite vocal about that.
Absolutely.
I just took it as is, and I'm like, okay, that's done. That's 8 years of my life. I enjoyed all of it for the most part. Red Wedding has to be one of the best episodes of television ever.
Crazy. Red Wedding Revenge. As a guy who loves vengeance, when Arya did what she did, unbelievable.
Oh yeah, stop.
Yeah. So if you were directing the show, when would you have ended the last season? Because I know people were like after the Battle of Winterfell.
You
like,
had to
that
have
could
the
have been the
Battle
end.
of Winterfell, yeah. And I know it was like the way they shot it was too dark, and
I mean, it kind of.
what do you expect? There's fire everywhere.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
they put you in it. You couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
But I guess for TV viewership, it wasn't the best. Yeah, you watch it dark. You turn up the brightness on your TV, and I don't know. People complain about everything.
They certainly do. I just was like, okay, that's it. I guess
We're talking about a world of dragons and magic. Like,
Yeah.
anything can happen.
that show was something
But
else.
Night of the Seventh, I'll tell you, like, I feel like the other two are very dramatic, and Duke is maybe left, but like they set it up in the beginning like it might be that way, and then like 3 minutes into the show, you're like, okay, this show is different. Like,
Okay.
there's a little more comedy to it, and
Yeah.
if you ever decide to get back into it, it's a good watch.
I
Plus,
don't
they're shorter episodes.
Are they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
'cause
only
some of them
6,
are
I
pretty
think.
long.
So,
Nah, I'll probably just leave it be. Anyway, you had some NFL news that was quite surprising.
yeah, Kyler Murray just named the Minnesota Vikings starting quarterback.
Oh,
So
boy.
that'll be the 4th year in a row they've had someone else line up. It was Cousins, Sam Darnold, JJ McCarthy, and Kyler Murray.
Yep.
And that to me isn't a big surprise. Like, Kyler Murray, when he's on, can be a very effective quarterback.
Yeah, when he wants to be.
He's got the new coaching, and Daniel Jones was there as well. I feel like if you're if you're the head coach Kevin O'Connell, let's just put out the best quarterback we have, and I have no issue because I think that he can develop JJ McCarthy. Now, does he want a fresh start? Does he want to move on? We'll have to find out. But all these guys he's turned around and made into quality quarterbacks. I feel like JJ McCarthy can be the next one. So, and he usually gets them when they're like 27. So
Right.
McCarthy's still 24. He's still relatively young. Like, he probably looks at it and says, "I'm in no rush to get you out there."
Kyler Murray, if he's dialed in the right headspace, obviously can be a very effective quarterback. Now he has reasons why he's been a frustrating quarterback at times too. Yes, he's not the biggest guy. It is fair to say maybe his buy-in to being the quarterback of the team outside of the glitz and glamour of it and doing the dirty work isn't where it needs to be, or comparatively to other grade A quarterbacks in the NFL. He's capable of it, but does he want to be that guy?
What was the correlation? It was like Call of Duty or something. Like whenever a new Call of Duty came out, he just would drop off.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think as a pro quarterback.
You would think, but he's a guy with tremendous athletic ability. Obviously, he was drafted by the A's, then he was taken first overall by the Cardinals, and started out great. His first couple of years, so much promise, but then you heard about the attitude stuff. You heard about the Call of Duty dropping and then his play dropping off as well. And you go, well, how is that guy going to lead that franchise out of the pits of the NFL? And sure enough, he didn't. And they're stuck in, turmoil and all that. So I don't know. If he's dialed in, this could be beneficial and fruitful for the Vikings. I'm skeptical, but the J.J. McCarthy saga has been interesting to watch as well, because there are people that just look at him and are like, he sucks.
Yeah.
He's a waste of time. Don't bother.
He won a natty, but he was handing the football off. He was a game manager. Why would you take a game manager 11th overall? I mean, we saw some things, right? Was it year 2, year 1, where he came back from the injury, had a really good second half.
Yeah.
But like, we're talking year 3 of your career, and we're referencing a second half that you once had. Like, that's not good enough.
No.
And you get beat out now by Kyler Murray. You had the injury your first year. I don't know. I mean, he's 23. I just looked it up. So he's still super young still, and there's still lots for him to go. But now it's kind of the ball's in his court. You're going to sit back and dig in and try to learn. And if not, maybe you're elsewhere.
I can't see Kyler Murray being a guiding light for him either.
Jeez. I mean, isn't like the blueprint right there, though? Like, okay, Sam Darnold came in here 1 year. They didn't franchise him. They let him leave. He got paid. Went to a really good situation. Like, not guaranteeing a Super Bowl, but you can get paid. Like, you can get that next big deal.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones got a good opportunity, got paid. Like, if you're Kyler Murray, and maybe it's in Minnesota, maybe it's elsewhere, but like, just buckle in, maybe sell your Xbox or PlayStation, and this is your chance to get that big ticket. Like, why not buckle in? I hope he does it, because I'm hoping for him. But
for Kyle, he got $38 million per year.
Yeah.
From his last from the Cardinals. Yeah. And I remember that saga. And he was a hot little tamale in that press conference where he was referencing how good he was in high school. It's like, really? Like, you're 5 years into your NFL career. Why are you talking about your high school career?
Do you think there was a little bit of like, he'd never really had to dig into a playbook? Like, he was so athletic, so gifted that it was like, I can kind of do all this just with ability. Johnny Manziel style.
I think there is some of that. I don't think it's as bad as Johnny Manziel was.
Maybe
that
not
was
the partier.
Extreme. Yeah. But I think there is that swag that he has because of his physical traits and abilities. And when people are telling you how great you are from the age of 14,
yeah,
you hear it long enough, you start to believe it,
and
which is fair.
Where did the A's take him? Was he 7th overall?
I thought he was. He was a first rounder.
Yeah,
like, and they wanted
10.
him to play.
Yeah. I mean, this guy is crazy athleticism.
Yeah.
And they took him with the knowledge that he might not play.
Exactly.
Like, that's how good he was playing ball. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like there might be a little bit of it. Like, okay, but when that athleticism starts to decline, like, you got to elevate your game mentally. You got to be the guy who can make the proper reads and progressions. So, I don't know. We'll see how it plays out for him. I'm hoping, because when he's out there like ripping around, he's fun to watch. So for entertainment value, I hope it works out.
Hey, do you think that if he had gone the baseball route, that would have been more beneficial? He would have been a better player long term in the MLB. It's a much more casual 162 game season.
I mean, you certainly don't have to memorize an entire playbook and be responsible for 10 other guys in the field. So
you can play video games, on game day.
100%.
Yeah.
Go home, go back after the game, play 2 hours, whatever.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, if my son was saying, should I play football or quarterback or baseball, I'd be like, I need to go baseball, man. Big money.
Yep.
I mean, it's not the most strenuous thing. The injuries probably not quite as bad for the most part. They
For
can
the most
happen,
part,
but I kind of think that maybe that would have worked out well for him.
What do you think, Brando? Oh, he walked away. Oh no, there he is. Sorry, you let Connor slide in there. Are you eating?
No.
Oh,
Connor's just doing some podcast settings, so it's
okay.
just slid out of the way there for him. The Kyler, like, it seemed like an inevitability when they go and get him that was going to be their guy over JJ McCarthy. And you talk about the baseball thing. That's just so hypothetical. Like,
yeah,
it's impossible to know because, listen, you could say the same thing about Tom Brady. What if he was even better at baseball than he was at football? And he's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT. So I think Murray's the obvious choice. And I think this makes the Vikings much more dangerous inside that NFC North than they would have been otherwise. Because they have so much, especially at receiver, so much talent. They just need, and Kyler Murray's physically gifted. Now,
yes,
he needs to rededicate himself on the game planning. And as Connor pointed out, Kevin O'Connell seems like the perfect guy to kind of help steer that ship. So I'm pretty heady on the Vikings. It's the only problem is the division. It's funny. I think they still might be a 4th place team.
Yeah.
But the Lions, hey, they didn't look nearly as gangbusters last year as they had in previous seasons too. So I think Green Bay and Chicago are probably my picks to win it. But would I be shocked if something happened in Detroit or Minnesota? No, I wouldn't be at all.
9th overall pick
is what McCarthy was. Yeah,
in the MLB draft.
Okay.
Yeah, outfielder.
So Murray was. Excuse me.
Yeah,
hit 296, 10 home runs, 47 RBIs with 10 stolen bases.
Not bad. And because in NCAA they don't play a ton of games, do they?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So, got a signing bonus.
How much?
$4.66 million.
Jeez.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
To not play.
It allowed him to play one final year of college football where he won the Heisman.
Is that good?
Well, I understand the swagger a little bit more now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guy was an athlete. Probably
He's-
ran track too and
Do it all, man.
do it all.
Couple of texts have come in. EG says, I'll never unsee it when someone pointed out that Kyler Murray running with the football looks like a small child running from his parents with candy.
Have you seen the people they superimpose like mini Shrek onto the dog racing? Have you ever seen that?
Maybe.
And they're like Kyler Murray on that plane. We'll just post that. He's just running little legs going crazy. I'll try to find it for you during the break here. But yeah, the memes you get, it is like he's 5'10" out there getting chased by 6'5" defensive lineman. It's quite comical, but fun to watch.
That's funny. I always get a kick out of that. Hell of an athlete. We'll see how he does. But yeah, Kyler Murray has been announced as the starter for the Minnesota Vikings. Okay, what's coming up on the show today?
We got Hondo Carpenter coming up on the Frenzy. We're going alphabetically through the NFL. So we'll talk some Raiders today, see how Mendoza looks, get his thoughts on Max Crosby versus Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, what's going on with that? Are they fighting?
They broke out into a little scrum last week, apparently.
What's up with that?
Max Crosby practicing how he plays. Kirk Cousins doesn't like that. See what Fernando Mendoza looks like. Then on the Gregor show, hoping to have Ed Hervey drop by. Dan Rosen from NHL.com. They did their top 20 defensemen yesterday.
Yeah.
Evan Bouchard, number 10.
I saw that.
Holding steady.
Okay.
We got Dave McCarthy, Kevin Woodley, Kevin Carius as well. So, yeah, it'll be a loaded show today.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. Well, thanks for stopping by, Connor.
Thanks for having me.
Have a great show today.
Thank you.
There you go. Connor Halley, the Frenzy coming up with Brandon Douglas right after this. And then you'll catch him on the Jason Gregor show as well. We're going to step out for a break. When we come back, final segment of the Tom Gazzola show here on Sports 1440.
I finished a 5K in 94th place, right after a man wearing jeans. Then a volunteer gave me a medal. But I don't want participation trophies, unless they're from Bet365. With their daily prize matcher game, I win by matching gold coins, cherries, and more. Take that, Denim Man. Thanks, Bet365.
Must be 18 or older. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Standard message and data rates may apply. T's and C's apply.
Kickoff is coming August 15th. Elks, Argos, at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. It's Family Day presented by Goodwill Industries of Alberta. Youth 17 and under get in free for an early afternoon contest. Conditions apply. Tickets and info at goelks.com/tickets.
Guys, there never seems to be enough time in the day, but you need to make time for this. Ken Franchek here. If you're 40 or over, a quick PSA blood test is crucial for early prostate cancer detection. The Prostate Cancer Center's Man Van is a mobile health clinic driving change for men's health. A few minutes could save your life. To get the man van out to your business or event, book today at getcheck.ca.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Sleep is for the off-season. What off-season? Sports 1440 is live, loud, and locked 24/7. Oilers, Elks, Riverhawks, Stingers, Oil Kings. We've got your fix. Edmonton's home for sports is Sports 1440.
Does your bank do local? We do. When you bank with Vision Credit Union, you're banking with a rural Albertan cooperative that cares about the community where you live. There's no question. We actively support our rural communities at the local level through charitable donations, volunteerism, local team and event sponsorships, and by returning millions in profit shares to our members every year. Does your bank do that? We do local. Bank with Vision Credit Union. VisionCU.ca.
I finished a 5K in 94th place, right after a man wearing jeans. Then a volunteer gave me a medal. But I don't want participation trophies, unless they're from Bet365. With their daily prize matcher game, I win by matching gold coins, cherries, and more. Take that, denim man. Thanks, Bet365.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply.
The Tom Gazzola Show on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
We're bringing it home here on the Gazzola Show. Tom, Brandon, Connor, Fenny with you. You can text us. You want to slide one in before the end of the show, 1-833-401-1440. See, the Stanley Cup is making the rounds in Leduc.
Recurring guest of this morning show, Jordan Martinook.
Yes.
The
Stanley
Marty
Cup
Party.
champion.
All around good guy.
Yeah.
We should get Schlemmer to text him, see if he wants to pop on while he's home here for this stretch. We had him on just after, like the celebrations had finally calmed and quieted out in Carolina. And it happened to be Kevin's last week before he retired.
Right.
And so we had Marty on the phone. He like stayed on the line after they were done. It was him and Schlemmer with Kevin. And he didn't know it was Kevin's retire, like he was retired. So he's like, I wish, like he texted Schlemmer. He's like, I wish I would have known. I would have said like, congrats or something. He then calls back, but I didn't notice. So he just didn't answer.
Oh no.
He's like, no, I just tried calling back and you guys didn't even pick up the phone. Like, yeah, not on purpose, but yeah, it was a rough ending to the last time he appeared on the program, but all in a misunderstanding, not intentionally. So
that's a tell, though, that he is genuinely a good guy.
He is, like Schlemmer talks about it all the time.
Yeah.
And you hear all of his teammates talk about him. And obviously he's been slugging it out in Carolina for quite a while. He's been a part of a lot of these teams that have come up short and had that aura of not being able to get over the hurdle or, quote unquote, win the big one. So you can't help but feel good for a guy like that. And then the local element, of course, as well, plays into it all the better for the local of L.A., Leduc, Alberta.
Leduc, Alberta, home of the Riggers, who we smacked around pretty damn good.
That was their minor hockey team?
That's their junior B team.
Oh,
yeah.
The Jungle beat Tommy.
Oh, yeah.
I would have loved to see Jungle beat Tommy.
There he is right there. That was him.
Oh, I see him over there.
He was a yappy, greasy.
Why does that picture look like it's from 1988?
It's from 2000.
And the picture that says Kevin's from 1988 looks like it could have been taken yesterday.
You'd have to ask Brian Desjardins that. Now, that photo is coming off of a printed picture. It's not a digital photo. And that was from our team photo day 2004, 2005 season. I think I was 18 still. Look at that mullet. Anyway, great photos speaking of photos, from GDT in the inbox. And it looks like it's packed. Where are they? I
believe at the LRC.
LRC, yeah. Okay. That's awesome. Just a packed house to see Jordan Martinook bring the cup home. Great to see. Congratulations. He was on Hello Hockey too, the final show of the season. We scrambled the last 2 episodes. I got the RCMP there in their dress uniforms, looking great, and a tremendous turnout. So congratulations once again to Jordan Martinook. Thank you, GDT, for sending those pictures along. And if you're wondering, someone else had texted, I just saw the Stanley Cup drive by, and yes, Jordan Martinook with the cup. And nice that he brings it home. You're seeing it now. It's making the rounds with all the players. Really neat to see what they do. Like, what would you eat from the Stanley Cup, as that has become a thing?
That's become a popular trend. I don't know if I love that trend, but I mean, hey, you win it, do whatever you want with it. You're not. I'm not on the board where it's like you're disrespecting it. That's not why I'm not in favor of it. I just think it's like, why? I don't really get it.
It's a thing. There's a trend.
So
to
if
it now.
I had to pick something, I'd probably pick a nice donair poutine. Or a buffalo chicken poutine. Something really loaded, you know?
Yeah. Donair.
Or here's one that I haven't seen before. What if you went somewhere and got a really nice like beef au jus, and you filled the cup with the jus, and you're just dunking your roast beef sandwich into it?
I don't know. I think,
and then you drink your gravy afterwards.
Well, that's a bit much. I have got a love-hate with au jus.
What?
Just depends on the sandwich, bread quality.
That matters a lot, no doubt.
And the essence of the au jus, like what's in there today. You know? It's supposed to be consistent.
Extra love.
Extra love. I didn't mind Roberto Luongo when they won with Florida. I think he had a big bowl of pasta in there.
Well,
if I remember
of course,
correctly.
It's one of your paisans.
Yeah. Well, maybe like distant cousins that we don't know of. He is from the South. I'm not. But that would be great. Fenny, what would you have from the cup if you were to eat something from it?
A box of Too Good To Go donuts.
Ooh, that sounds pretty good.
That's Fenny's favorite. That's Fenny's favorite thing in the
You
whole
can
world.
just pick away at them.
Exactly. Just like, but like, what's the parameters for this cup?
Stanley Cup.
The Stanley Cup.
Stanley Cup.
Are you familiar with that?
I am aware. Sorry, because I peeled out to go pee.
My bad.
So I'm just now catching up.
Are you relieved?
I am. I feel
Excellent.
very relieved.
Good.
Yeah, no, Too Good To Go donuts. I don't know how I could. Well, how could I possibly beat that? I like the au jus pick though.
That's a lot of au jus. That the bowl,
it's a
portion
big
of
bowl.
the Stanley Cup is quite massive.
It
Well,
can
you can
be a
share,
big
Tom.
beef dip.
Maybe you and all your mates are each got your own sandwich and you're all dunking in the same au jus.
That can't be.
Are you against that idea? I know Declan
Kind of.
Kruger would hate that.
Yeah, I understand where Declan's coming from.
Sharing is caring.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
but-
wouldn't have a problem with that whatsoever.
Also
Strangers
double
maybe
dipping.
something a little bit different. Like you're already eating out of a device, whatever you're eating, that thousands of people have touched and had their hands all over.
But it's
and
cleaned.
So
The keeper of the cup, Phil Pritchard, and the others, the new ones, they keep it
So-
immaculately clean.
all right, do you have friends, Tom, that when they're eating the roast beef sandwiches, they leave half their internal current saliva quantity back on the bread when they put it back in?
Probably.
Well, you need better friends
Chances
then.
of that are high. They're sloppy.
Just take care, and I don't really see a problem with it.
Steve from Drumheller. Well, what's Connor having? What are you having out of the cup? I'm curious.
I like the Cale McCarr strategy of going with a Slurpee.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have gummies inside?
No, just like no. You put gummies in your Slurpees?
Well, Jason Strudwick got us onto that. He always slides like sour keys into his Slurpees, and he would buy for everybody.
No, I've never had that. No,
Yeah.
I'm more of a adult beverages in my Slurpees.
Ah, you spike them.
Yeah.
I knew I liked you. I knew it. Okay. Interesting.
We just got another degenerate in the studio as well.
I didn't say that. I just said I knew I liked him.
Well, he fits in.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good team. Steve from Drumheller says, I'm not eating anything out of that thing. Do you know what's been in there? And it's not food. Yes, it's been used as I think like babies have defecated in there.
Well, I think they baptized babies.
Babies.
But yeah, babies sitting in it have also left some things behind. I
Mhm,
believe.
some waste. It has obviously been used as a drinking device over many, many decades. I trust cleaning products. Right? Cat Dad says he'd have pierogies in there. I have nothing against that. I think that would actually be wonderful with a very healthy dollop of sour cream.
Ooh. That's all you're putting on your
No,
pierogies?
you got
you're half Polish. You got to be a big pierogi fan.
I like pierogies. I'm more cabbage roll oriented.
Oh, God. You're like my mother.
But it's not Ukrainian cabbage rolls. It's Polish cabbage rolls with the tomato sauce. They're bigger. They have pork in them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe the cabbage I can't.
Oh, I love
do
it. Cat Dad says bacon, fried onions, and then you can get some chives on there too. Would be really good.
I'm when I make pierogies at home, it's full spread. Sour cream, some salsa, cheese.
I like
some
salsa.
onions if you can for sure.
Yeah.
That's great. Bacon. And listen, actually frying up bacon for that purpose, I don't know. I'm not putting like the hard, crunchy, simulated bacon bits on it, but just like store-bought, quote-unquote, real bacon bits.
Yeah.
I think that's okay.
Where they are
That's a
somewhat crusted, but not completely.
Yeah, like they're still, and you're kind of wondering, how do they stay somewhat soft like this?
Probably
It raises some eyebrows, but once again, compared to all the other things I consume, that's really the least of my concern.
Yeah,
I think.
I would imagine there's some sort of additive in there. John Gully, I'm saying, I know it's the Ukrainian dish, halapchi.
Yeah, that sounds
in
right.
the cup. Those are pretty good. Luke in Cowtown, if you were to eat out of Stanley Cup, says, how about a nice minestrone soup? Yeah, minestrone soup's really good. Triple C in a truck says, Duke's eating Chimo pierogies, not homemade. You don't put all that junk on, only pierogies.
You can put all that on. I have it both ways. Homemade pierogies or just frozen out of the freezer.
The Chimo's a local company.
I believe you.
I believe it is, yeah.
People just love to hate on like, oh, if it's not homemade or anything. It's like that's just not true. There's fine food that is you buy at the grocery store.
Absolutely. I like going to a deli at a supermarket. Sometimes you get an older lady that might be a baba or a nona that makes you a sandwich with love right in front of you.
And it makes you feel good.
It does make you feel. It puts it over the top. Brian would have a sundae from the Stanley Cup. That would be pretty good. Blair pointing out that if you go to a restaurant, the utensils have been in thousands of mouths. It's no different from the Stanley Cup. Both get cleaned. I'm with you, Brian or Blair, on that
so
one.
am I.
Yeah.
I agree. So I don't understand where.
Well, some people maybe they get that thought in their head.
I guess.
Yeah. Rob in Cold Lake says, hey guys, would you do the same with the Grey Cup? Yep. Why not? It's just not as big and wide of a bowl, but it's still a bowl. Cup, if you will. Absolutely. The Grey Cup has its own wild history. I believe they refurbished it a few years ago. And I would absolutely have pasta out of the Grey Cup. Okay, Brandon from Windsor. This is the most wrong text. I'm sorry, Brandon, you are incorrect. When Brandon from Windsor says, correction, Tommy, as a Ukrainian, you just described Ukrainian cabbage rolls. No, I didn't. Ukrainian cabbage rolls are the small ones with no sauce on them. I know the Ukrainians from around here. That's what they always say is the best, and I have to go, no, sorry. That's not how you do it.
That ain't it.
That ain't it. That ain't it. Dale Brown. Now, I also believe that there are other Slavic, Eastern European countries that do their cabbage rolls bigger, more robust, like the Polish ones with the tomato on top as well. But every time I've had Ukrainian cabbage rolls, they are small, bite size, They're very good, just not on the same level as the Polish ones. So Brandon from Windsor, wrong. You were wrong. Just kidding. It's all good. It's all good. Final thoughts, boys. It's been a fun show. It actually flew by.
Not much. It's Tuesday. I'm going to go try and donate blood after work today. That's going to be the extent of my afternoon. So then, to me, Tom, if I go do that right as soon as I leave the studio, then when I do get home a little bit later, I've earned a nap.
Yes.
Because I've actually done something productive and, service, an act of service.
Yes.
So then I can have a little rest before Jays and Red Sox. Adley Rutschman making his debut.
Excellent. Your eyes had more life in them today.
Thank you.
It's good to have you back. You were great yesterday.
Hopefully even better tomorrow.
Probably.
It's a process.
Benny, first day back. I know you had the total sojourn coming back after the wildfires in BC completely affected your weekend and your trip.
Well, I'm driving to Whitecourt after work.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'll be driving back, and then it should be about 7 p.m. So I'll just conk out,
You deserve it.
I'll sleep like
Good
a rock.
boyfriend material right there.
Do the best I can.
Taking care of your girlfriend in her vehicle. And then, Connor, you're in for the haul today. What's going on with you after that? Anything? You're going to go and get a Slurpee and spike it with vodka?
No, I wish. No, one of my good friends from Calgary is living in Edmonton, so we're meeting up after work and just hanging out.
That sounds just fine for a Tuesday. Good. I like this. It's been a pleasant Tuesday. Boys, good stuff. The Frenzy coming up next. And Cotter and Brando will have that for you. Thank you to everybody who tuned in today. Great slew of guests as always. We're going to do it all over again tomorrow. Schlemmer hopefully is back and ready to go. Hopefully, yeah. He's probably in Leduc hanging out with Jordan Martinook in the Stanley Cup. If you're down there and you get a chance to get a picture with the cup, meet Jordan Martinook and enjoy it, it's truly special. So anytime you're in the presence of the Stanley Cup, it is really, really cool if you're a hockey fan or just a sports fan. So super neat that he brought it back to Leduc. All right. For Brandon, for Fanny, for Connor, I'm Tommy saying, have yourselves a wonderful day. We need to get to one more Sports 1440 update brought to you by All-Star Construction. They shape and build Edmonton communities, specializing in underground utilities like power, gas, telecommunication, and street lighting. That is All-Star Construction. Here's Brando. Have a great day.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Full set of games across the major leagues of baseball, including the Blue Jays playing game 2 of 4 at home against the Red Sox. Jose Soriano set to take the hill for the Bluebirds, and Adley Rutschman expected to make his Red Sox debut behind the plate after being acquired at this year's trade deadline. First pitch just after 5 o'clock. Catch that game right here on Sports 1440. Join in progress at the conclusion of the Jason Drager Show. Elsewhere, some matinee games, including the Orioles in Minnesota, Cardinals hosting the Phillies, Rays playing the Athletics, and the Rockies in the desert against the D-backs. Later on this afternoon, the Yankees will host the Mariners, Mets against the Braves, and in the nightcap, Dodgers continue their series against Kansas City. Some NFL preseason news. The Minnesota Vikings have named Kyler Murray as the team's starting quarterback heading into the start of this season. JJ McCarthy will serve as his backup QB. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is the Frenzy with Hallie and Douglas. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. See